Hey family, what's good? What's happening? What's going on? So this is the after party, and I'm here by myself, and it's okay. It's all right. Just wanted to come in here. It's like a little early. It's so late. It's early. That's how late it is out here, man. It's 2 in the morning over here, and it's actually like 2:45. It's the witching hours, right? Almost 3 in the morning right now. I figured I'd get on and kind of chop it up for if you're working the graveyard shift, if you live abroad overseas and you happen to see me, hell, come on in. Hey, welcome. I've got somebody up, bags under their eyes, eating donuts, working the graveyard shift, watching the honeymooners, and listening to me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And before we kick it off, let's go ahead and let's do this proper like. What's up?
Suicide's on one.
Suicide, motherfuckers.
Shots the dome.
We're all in.
Fuck it up.
Do it again.
Ooh, yeah.
Of course, I spent all those words. Nobody could hear a damn thing I was saying. Rumble, YouTube, family, what's good? What's happening? Ironwork 92,000 in the house, and these are times after hours. So I figured I'd get on here. Valley Parks, what's going on, family? Valley Parks. How you doing? It's good to see you. Welcome, welcome. And of course, this is totally untraditional, and this is not normal of me to be up at almost 3 in the morning and talking with you guys, rapping with the family. But here we are, right? So I don't know if you guys saw, I was invited to Riku Swaran's channel, and shout out to Riku and thank you, Riku, for having me and the rest of the family to where we can sit down and we could talk truth in the truth community, right? Many things, many different facets of the truth and the truth community, and where we're looking at where we can possibly be here in the future, right? It's kind of hard to nail down who or what the truth community is, right? I'm not the purveyor of truth, but me, I would say anybody that's fighting a system that perpetuates lies is part of a truth movement. Insomniac Theater 2000, right? Where instead of smoking bongs, we're like smoking Roger Ledwell. Look at who's up. Of course, Roger's always up. Instead of smoking bongs, we're smoking coffee beans, coffee grounds, right? We're roasting coffee grounds instead of smoking bongs. So yeah, we're here, family. And yeah, man, we're live and we're just basically chopping it up. We're discussing, we're just going over some things and we're discussing some stuff. And it was awesome for Riku to have me on his show and to be able to discuss that with you guys and to be able to go over certain realities that I guess you could say not too many people are familiar with about me, right? Some things. And so, welcome, Raja. Welcome. And yeah, all that goodness. So we're here. I have no tea. Actually, that's a lie. I've got a little bit of tea. And yes, it's tea. It's not alcohol or nothing like that. It's a little too late for alcohol. But we still have the True Earth Wiki, right? And before we continue, let me go ahead and make sure I'm capturing that, and then I'm going to drop it in the page, y'all. And there it is. The True Earth Wiki. And I guess we could just be here and we could chop it up a little bit, but you know what? What am I doing? What am I doing? So instead of sitting there talking by myself, I'm going to go ahead, and I should do this totally more often. Come on in, fam. Come on in. Let's chop it up. Let's chit chat for a little bit. So, Riku asked me some pretty deep questions, I think, right? And this isn't your run of the mill flat earth questions. I'm not taking flat Earth questions for granted and just calling flat Earth, BS and run of the mill and stuff like that. I'm not saying that at all. But this isn't your not scripted, but the cliche flat Earth, what we're used to discussing and talking about. He asked me like some pointed questions about, just basically the reality we currently live in, right? How do we change our paradigm? How do we change our positions on things if they require changing? How do we get a better grasp of the stuff happening around us that we don't like, right? And how do we make our realities better? And I mean, I have my answer, what I feel the best answer or the best way forward is, but it may not be for everybody, right? It may not be what's I don't even know, you know, I know what should work for me or what could work for me, all right, or how I do things, but it may not be the answer for everybody. And I almost feel as if logical observations, how you doing, brother? I don't want to say that I have the answers, right? I could give you what would work for me, and it may not work where you live. And I could give the best suggestions in the world, but it may not be applicable to you. But at the same time, a couple of the things Nachiketa likes to say, just like everyone else, Vlad, if you agree with Jake the asshole and them, then there's some things you agree with, and then there are other things that you don't agree with. That's okay. You eat the meat and you spit out the bones. Basically, that's what Nachiketa likes to say. Eat the meat and spit out the bones. It's that simple. Yeah, that's my link. That's my come on up and chat link. StreamYard. That's right, Roger. I'm happy to see you logical observations. And yeah, Roger, that's it. It's good to see y'all, man. Yeah, and so we eat the meat and we spit out the bones. So when I mention these things that are a way forward for me, it's me giving and offering suggestions, y'all. It may work for y'all, it may not work for y'all. But everything that somebody does, if you rock with them, you take the good and then you cut loose the bad. That goes for everybody, right? Me too, me included. I've got my way, crazy sometimes. But it doesn't have to be you. You don't have to be Mr. or Ms. Crazy, right? But you carry on and proceed forward however which way you need to. And those that vibe with you. Those that rock with you will rock with you, right? I'll definitely continue to support. I'll continue to watch and everything else. For sure. But if that ain't you, then that ain't you. Or if you find a better way or whatever works for you, definitely go with that, you know. But here's the thing is at the same time, we're all looking for the truth, right? We're all looking for the truth, which kind of reminds me, from Z. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. I love Z. I love Z's material. And he was on Nachiketa's channel the other day. And he spoke about the final experiment, what's dubbed the final experiment, right? And it's bothering him enough to bother me, right? Luke 23:43, brother, what's going on? What's going on? It's good to see you, man. And if you didn't see it, I just went ahead and I put that link right there. That right there is Zetetic Astronomy. Earth is not a ball, right? And it's concerning to him because in that book, in that story, it shows in the preface that, and I I almost feel bad because cool world, who we got here. I almost feel bad because I feel that many of us in the flat earth community didn't do our due diligence, and it may cost us, right? I'll expound on that here in a second. We're going to get our guest up here. What do we got? Hold on. Cool World, welcome.
Hello, it's Roger Ledwell. How are you?
Roger, what's going on, homie?
Not much. I'm not messing with you on purpose. That's just what the last name I use on Platts panel.
Ah, that's fine. It's good to see you, though, man. It's good to see you. Welcome.
Good to be here, man. I did a show earlier, and I interviewed a couple of ballers, and they were trying to convince me a curve, and I was just breaking it down for them bit by bit, how it's not really working. And then I had a special visitor at the end. He was quite the girl.
It was what's his name? Brenda.
Brenda. Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I knew it.
It was. I didn't let him in because I've been through it before with him. You know.
Yeah.
I started out with Saab, and he just kept. It made a mess out of it, so I don't let him in. Just don't.
You know, I think Brenda is going around making his rounds because what he's trying to do is he's trying to put that seed of doubt in everybody's mind. Really, that's it. That's what it boils down to. He's doing his damnedest. And you know what sucks, man? That's like the work of the devil, damn near.
Yeah, it is, dude. Actually, if you get a better point at something that's trying to kill everybody, that would be everything Brenda stands for.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is why the other day when so before I continue, tell me about how it went with Brenda. I'd like to hear, and I'm sure the audience would like to hear as well. How did it go with Brenda?
I didn't let him in, but he sat in the back room and just listened to me even after it was over and called me names, just straight up. Just I was dumb, stupid. I didn't understand. Didn't even spell the stuff right to start with. But yeah, just ad hominem, dude. That's all he did. And you don't understand. But I know he did the same thing. He was going to do the same thing he did on your channel with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to. I've heard the argument. I know both sides of it. I know what's right. I know what's wrong.
Yeah. But my thing, and you know what? I'm glad that you did that. But my thing was lies, right? Lies and those that love them at that point. And so I was like, oh, I think this is the perfect example of a liar. Or I feel someone that's not telling the truth. I think that's a very strong word when you call someone a liar, right?
Yeah.
And so I wanted them to basically demonstrate exactly what it is that I'm talking about. And so I let him talk. I let him say his piece. And I was like, you got 10 minutes, Brenda. You got 10 solid minutes. He ended up talking for 14 and change. But I was like, you've got 10 minutes, make it stick and make it count. Right. And so, he's going on. Do you know what 8 inches per mile is? 8 inches per mile squared is? And I was like, Brenda, they did a test. And it was when Ben came out. I think you saw that episode, right? You saw it.
Oh yeah, I did a review on it. I did that the night before you did it.
Yeah. It's such an amazing video. That's going to be the reference video of all reference videos, I believe.
Was it 35.9 miles of flat, dry, no water, no curve?
Exactly. Land. And you could hear, like I said, you could hear the excitement in Ben's voice, right? Starting out that video. And I thought it was awesome. And I thought it was something to just totally listen to, because even he was like, another nail in the coffin. I love it, right? You can just tell by his excitement. And so when you have these people that come out and they want to lie to everyone, it's like, you see, this is exactly what we're talking about. These are the lies that we're talking about. And this is why we're so frustrated. But they don't care. They're going to push lies anyway. They're just going to do it. And so what sucks? Truth Trollette, what's going on, sis? It's good to see you. Mojo Shop, what's happening? P43, what's happening, brother? Being solid, man, holding it down. Saddle Bum, welcome again. Welcome. It's good to see you, Saddle Bum. And none other than Barbara, Jehovah's daughter. It's good to see you, sis. And good morning. Guten Morgen. Nice and early in these neck of the woods. I know it's early late your time, but it's early in Colorado, y'all. But it's early late here. It's the witching hour. the early late as hell in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And welcome, man. Welcome, family. And basically it's like the after party after Riku Swaran. I was privileged enough to be on a guest on his show tonight, and or this morning if you're in Finland. And I got to present and discuss and talk with Riku, basically Good Morning Finland.
Nice.
On their side, right? But Riku at that time, of course, is in Mexico, but the Finnish are waking up and, you know, living life, going to work and everything else. So I got to discuss and I got to talk on his show, which was awesome, which was amazing. And we didn't settle solely on the flat earth, but that's pretty much what I'm here to talk about. Just much of what we spoke about and just cleaning up some stuff, you know, and then not even cleaning up some stuff, but kind of further speaking into a little bit more detail as to what our aim was, right? And basically to introduce those that are coming into the truth to more truth. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just about the flat earth. It wasn't just about what we know reality to be. It was much on what my take was or our take was with things like the immigration, with things like the presidential election or the presidential race coming up here in the United States. And just a little bit about me. Right.
Nice.
But yeah.
You had a
All
busy day,
that.
didn't you, Vlad?
I'm sorry?
You had a busy day, didn't you?
A little bit. Work and then I had to go grocery shopping and then coming in here and I really wanted to do the show with Riku, right? And I didn't care what time it was. He could have been like, it's at 3 a.m. I'd have been like, all right, let me get a wink of sleep and then I'll be up and I'll do it. Like anything to get the truth out, man. Anything to get the truth out.
I agree.
I don't care what time it is, man. I'm up for the truth, baby. I'm up for it. And these are exciting times. They may seem crazy and difficult, but they're definitely exciting. And you know, I don't know what that person's issue is, logical observations, but I do feel that we need to pray for them. I know it sounds corny, it sounds cliche. I know. But one thing I started to recognize is that the corny and cliche stuff is still the truth. Right? And whether we agree with some of these people or not, we have to pray. We have to pray for them. Sometimes we have to pray and we have to wish and pray that a force makes them see some of the errors of their ways and pray that they get deliverance and want to change and want to do better. Right?
Yes, I agree. And the young gentleman I was having a conversation with tonight, I want to throw this out. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get some sleep myself. But he honestly believes he's actually proving something, but he hasn't got the proof he wants yet. So he's in that in between place.
Yeah, purgatory, sad purgatory.
It's like which way does the light bend? And that was his point. But you ever do any light laser tests and stuff and bend them? That's basically what he was demonstrating for me most of the night. You might have heard of this guy. I'm trying to remember his name. Jesse, the Path of Light. Sorry.
No, I've never heard of this guy. Jesse, the Path of Light?
Yeah. He's in the Discord server, and he's in there. He's bugging Witsit for money all the time, basically. He's trying to make bets with him about celestial navigation. But I think he's honestly thinks that he might be on a ball, but he's got questions, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, I'm not even going to say it's sad because everybody's got their journey. And yes. I think a lot of people like get a eureka moment, but they're afraid to expose themselves as to holy smoke, it's flat. And all of God in creation gets to witness their transformation. So a lot of them get caught up and then they're like, all right, I got to get out of here. I'm seeing something. I see what it is they see. And it's a scary feeling and they don't want to expose themselves. But the lies are strong. The delusion is strong. in their eyes, unfortunately. But I guess
I think some of them think it's a game they're playing, dude.
I think, yeah, I'd agree. I would agree. Some of them, I think so.
This isn't a game. This is life, man. We live it day to day. And I mean, you determine truth. You find it, you go with it, man. That's just the way I look at it. I'm not trying to play games. I'm just looking for like exactly what I've seen, and I like to share it with other people. It's nothing to do with what I'm going to gain out of it. I don't do this for the money, dude.
Exactly.
Don't get anything
Right.
for it.
Not even close. There's no money in flat Earth at all. Like we're deliberately putting truth out there to the point to where people ridicule us and basically chucking rocks at us, calling us names. And you know, Forever Flowers, what's going on, sis? And I agree. Pray for your enemies as you pray for yourself. And it's hard. And it comes to another thing, Forever Flowers. You're right. But it comes to another thing, ego. It's ego that keep us from doing just what you said. It's ego. And it's easy for me to say, but it's a hard thing for me to do. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, I pray for my enemies all the time. Sometimes I forget because I remember one thing, that they're my enemies, but I also have to pray for them. You're right. You're right. So me coming up here talking that shit about how, yeah, they're my enemies, so I'm going to pray for them. I have to be real about it. And I do my best to remember to pray for my enemies as well. Pray for my enemies like I pray for myself, or I pray for my family, so that they can, if not see the light, at least there is peace. To where there's peace between us. And there doesn't have to be an enmity all the time to where we're going back and forth. That's right. But with prayer, anything is possible. And they need to get some of that prayer as well.
Nice. I'm gonna get off you, Vlad.
All right. Hey, I got you, Raj, man. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you for being on here, man.
Yeah.
And come on anytime. Yeah.
Saab's always had my back. Whenever I've been out doing stuff and I have to ask him for something, he's always been there. He's one of the best dudes I know in this arena. And
man,
the same
Saab
with Vlad.
Yeah, those guys are stand-up dudes, man. And then you got guys out there talking shit about their name, and I'm not with that, man. Like, listen, you don't have to agree with them. You could call them what you want, but talk to them. You know what I'm saying? Talk to these guys and let them speak their truth. Don't sit there and shit on these men, man. I don't think they deserve that. They're grown men. They got kids. They're family men. If you don't agree, that's okay. You can say you don't agree. But don't go over there shitting on these people, talking bad about them. Let them come up and defend themselves.
Yep. And I mean, I gave that kid on my show like all the chances in the world. I didn't put him down at all. But he is a stubborn little. He's persistent. I did say that after he was done, dude. It's like we wanted to keep going and going until I see it his way. And I'm just trying to show him the small things as he's going, and give him better ideas to how to get to results and his observation. And he wouldn't quit. So, yeah, but he's going to come back again, and I'm going to put him on the show, and I'm going to just show him what I know about it. And I had Luke come in and help me out with him, and of course I had the Cookie Monster. So. Yeah. But he's a little preoccupied sometimes.
Cookie Monster. Yeah. Hey, look at who it is. Riku has joined us.
That's the guy you were on with earlier, right?
Yeah, Riku's the man, man. I appreciate you, family. Thank you, Riku. Thank you, brother. Thank you for joining us.
I'm gonna go. And I talk too much.
No, Raj, man. You family over here, bro.
All right.
But I got you, man. If you need to roll, you do your thing, man. But I appreciate you being here, bro.
Oh, no problem. And I'm glad to see you out here pushing the map stuff, man. And I wanted to go over one thing with you right quick. You know, the Azimuthal, the Gleason's map.
Yeah.
You do know it's a projection from the globe that they reprinted out. That's what Gleason did, because they didn't have the money or the resources to do the mapping himself. So he took what he had and made that. So basically it's kind of distorted because of it. But that's it works really good with the solar cycles and the lunar cycles. It's an excellent clock, but
Right.
for like actually land masses, especially in the southern hemisphere that are really distorted, it's just as bad on the globe because it's the same one. It's like
Right.
it's the same model. So yeah,
And then there are others. There are others that adopted, like C.S. Hammond adopted the same thing that he had
Yeah.
with the Hammond's map. Him and Charles Mortimer. Like what is it? Almost 20 years after Gleason made that map, Charles Mortimer came up with the same exact type of map. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're a
That
little larger though. I think like
yeah,
the land masses and stuff. They did a better job with those. And I love Eddie Banjo, and he's kind of in love with the Gleasons, man, with the passion. So he
yeah,
sells the damn thing. Yeah, and
yeah.
there was somebody else I was going to mention. I'll talk about it later. Anyways,
All
I
right,
was just
man.
saying. So that's why they get these distortions with the flights and stuff. But there's nautical maps that work just as good, just regular maps. You don't need any projections to really like. Here's I got the whole world.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I remember you were talking to somebody on one of your shows and something about the Gleason map, and it clicked. Like that's a projection, and to me, it's based on the globe geometry or not geography, kind of in a way. They just split it up in the corners. It's kind of widened it, so you don't get the exact distances that you actually need.
Right.
That's where
And I think that's something that needs to be discussed tonight as well, or this morning. We're in the Twilight Zone, family. That's when it needs to be discussed. So this morning, tonight, it's early late. So I don't know if you have a second, Roger, but if you don't, I get it.
I could take a minute. Why?
Oh, well, Z came out with a show yesterday about how this book, Zetetic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe. I'm sure everybody's familiar with it now. What I'm going to do, family, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop that in here. And our man Z, Love Z and Natch, they came on, they got together, and they discussed what these guys, these Zetetic astronomers, recognized back in the day, that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Now, why am I talking about it tonight, and why am I talking about it right now? I'm not gonna just talk about it late hours of the morning so we can be the only ones to recognize me calling myself out, but I'm gonna mention it over and over again so I could drive the point home that I was one to follow that there is no 24-hour sun in whatchamacallit. Yeah,
Antarctica.
and in Antarctica. I'm one to believe that because I'm following not only the model but what looks like it makes sense. Have I seen it for myself? I haven't. Have I been down there to Antarctica to see these phenomena? No, I haven't. I never have been. Not saying that I have. So I'm going based off of what looks like it makes the most sense, right? And how the sun seems to work. Could we be wrong? Possibly with what the sun does, but what the sun does doesn't mean that the earth is going to turn into a globe. I've said that time and time again, right? I don't want us to lose focus on that. I don't think we will, but I could see Z's point, right? I could see Z's point that because these guys are making a claim, these Zetetic astronomers and stuff are making a claim, right? That there is a 24-hour sun in that area, in that region. And this was 100 some odd years ago, right? Is the claim. It's a claim as to when they wrote the book, when they said this. Again, I don't know if this is true. So is there something that the globe community might have seen or might have read or whatever, and they understand that, or they feel that many of us flat earthers didn't do our due diligence and read this book and see that and basically try and call us out? Perhaps, maybe, right? And I'm saying all that to say this: can use, and I feel you, Barbara, I feel you. They can use anything. These globe people will sit there and say, you see this guy? with the rag on his head and the black robe and the big nose and the glasses, they're like, oh yeah, Vlad. They'll be like, he eats babies, right?
Do
And then
you?
people will be like, what? Be like, yeah, the guy with the rag on his head, big nose, glasses, and the black robe. And then they'll say that for a year. You know good and
Wow.
damn well I ain't no baby eater. Y'all know I don't get down like that. But they'll say that. People will go around believing it and they'll continue to say the same lies. And then it turns out, of course, I'll be like, I don't eat babies. I don't do that. However, it doesn't matter. The lie's already out there. You want to know much of what these people heard? They heard this is what the truth is. I have a black robe on. I have a rag on my head. I have glasses and I got a big nose. Right? So all those truths, and then you throw one lie in there. All you have to do is just throw one lie, just slip one lie in there. And then the rest does it. It works like magic. And it has the same effect damn near every single time. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, with the satanic cosmology and Lady Blunt, and I try to remember the other guy, it's Richard somebody. They actually proposed a 24-hour sun in their books. I haven't read all of them, but I've listened to them audio wise. DeBay did a reading on it, and Morgile reads them on the regular. So yeah, they took that into account because there were going to be globe proponents that would propose this, but they didn't say it was a for sure thing in their literature. They said it could be a possibility. I'm pretty sure is what they speculated. Yeah.
So my thing is, I don't know. And I'm not using this as a form of damage control either, because I've said I believe that there's a 24-hour sun. There is no 24-hour sun. I believe that there isn't one. To me, it doesn't make any sense. But it's not about what makes sense. It's about what's true. That's it. And it's not up for debate. It's not an opinion. Shouldn't have to be. It should be what's the actual facts, right?
Yeah. The guy's name was Charles Winship. I just remembered. Sorry.
Charles Winship. Chuck Winship. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lady Blunt, they're part of the Zetetic Society that Samuel Robotham built, and I'm a staunch Robothanist.
Yep.
No, I'm just kidding. They tried to title me and Flats and everybody at the group over there with the Robothanist title. And it was Peter Markley who was trying to make us into a cult.
Oh, God.
Yeah. We deal with it all the time, man.
Yeah.
It's
And so, I mean, it's a crazy place to be in. And the reason I mentioned all this is because of the Pied Pipers that may be out there that are trying to lead those that don't have any better sense about them. And I'm not trying to talk down on anyone, but there are those that will go with a particular story just because they like a group of people. Unfortunately, that's how it may be. And they may be steering a group of people towards the globe, which there's nothing we could do about that. But if that's what happens, we can expect it. And then if it does turn out that, say, there is a 24-hour sun, we can expect to have a lot of, it's going to be a strange time indeed, because now everything that we've claimed, everything that we've said and we've fought for, a lot of people that don't know what the truth is, or they don't understand how a lot of this exactly truth trollette, cult personality, a lot of people, they may just go with the flow and say, oh, you flat earthers are, of course you're stupid, you're flat earthers, and they may not understand anything. And then they'll be like, well, it's true that the earth is a globe because there's a 24-hour sun in the south. And so duped and duped again, or fooled and fooled again, right? And they're going to use those things, and then they're not going to recognize that even though it doesn't matter what the fucking sun, moon, stars do, this place will not curve up, and it won't change shape anytime soon. I'm sorry, you were going to say something, Raj?
I was going to say they're fighting against God and creation. That's what they're really fighting against. Although ancient cosmologies even agree with us and the Bible. So the whole point of this, the people who actually were here and have been here and inhabited this place for so long don't really know anything about the world they live in. The modern age and the scientists and the cultists know about the world we don't.
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
nonsense, dude. Well, I'm gonna step off on you.
All right.
I'm gonna go take care of myself. All right. Have a good night, Vlad. I'll be listening to you.
You got it, brother. Much love, man. Much love. And
All right.
thanks for coming, Raj.
That's no problem, dude. I saw the
All
link
right.
yesterday. You want somebody to come in? I'll do it.
Hell
All right.
yeah, man. I dig it. I dig it. All right, man.
Have a good night, man.
Peace, bro. That's Roger Ledwell, y'all. Roger Ledwell. Roger Ledwell in the house. And yes, that's right, man. There's a way in which our creator, whoever, whatever he is, doesn't matter. We are not fools, and we were intelligently designed. By what? I don't know. Something made us, something put us here. For what? I don't know. But for a purpose, right? Many of us believe that we're here for a purpose, and it's to praise the Most High. Whether you believe that, I tend to believe that. That's what I believe. I'm not saying that that's what you have to believe, right? But we're here to praise Him and praise that higher power, and He put us here on the stage. The stage is here to to keep us alive, y'all. In a sense, right? He didn't want to make this place complicated, a ball that's flying all over the place. At least I don't think so, because it sure as hell doesn't play out like that. It looks like it's a total flat pancake or a cracker or a disc, whatever you want to call it, right? A pizza. He made it pretty simple in that regard. He's like, why would I put these guys on a disco ball? Who's saying that lie? And they got us. They got us. They tricked us. But that's not the point that I'm trying to drive home. The point that I'm trying to drive home is that there could be a 24-hour sun. There could be. It doesn't matter what they wrote. We haven't seen it ourselves, or they haven't seen anything themselves. Like I hear Z. I hear him. And I'm not gonna I like him. For the guy that he is and for seeing what he's trying to do, I like him. And I like what he's trying to do so far. So far, I like what I see. Z, the same thing. Z's an awesome dude, and he's a very good mediator in allowing us to get our truth out. And if people disagree, then hell, we'll battle it out. We'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I like this kind of honest discourse. It's not a debate. It's honest discourse, and it's showing each other what it is that maybe somebody might not be seeing, or demonstrating something different, even though we agree for the most part. And it's like, hey, see it my way, look at it my way, try it this way. And many of us have a fiery way in doing this. Many of us are very passive in doing it, right? But we're doing it nonetheless. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, really. We grow, and iron sharpens iron. We're learning from each other. And I think it's a beautiful thing to learn from each other, especially in this community. There's so much that you guys show me. There's so many different directions that you guys point me in. But even though it's a different direction, it all confluences to one place: the truth. You're pointing it to me. You're showing these things to me because you see that there's truth at the end of that tunnel that maybe I might be missing. And you want to know something? I love and I appreciate every single one of y'all for that. And I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you for doing that for me. Because there are a lot of other people out there that are trying to steer us into the lake of fire, man, trying to steer us towards more lies. And sometimes we may make mistakes, and we may fall into that pit, and we may be pointing the other into a place of lies. But then it's a community effort, or somebody that's crying into the wind, right? That maybe once they get heard, we listen to them. And then maybe we need to stop, and we need to look at things a little bit different. And there's nothing wrong with that, because this is how we got here in the first place. This is how we got to the flat earth. This is how we got to the true earth community in the first place, because we were given so many lies that it's affected our lives. It's affected our livelihood. It's affected our psyche. And we can't take it no more. We see how once it's so deeply rooted inside of our psyche, but it's adversely affected us because we've realized that the lies don't jive well with who we are. So we've realized how it's affected the outside, the things on the outside of our lives. And we need to get rid of those lies. It's almost as if it's like a virus that's plagued us, and it doesn't belong in the our body. It doesn't belong in our system, and we're trying to expel it. We're doing everything in our power to get the truth out, or to get the lies out, the truth in, to get out there to the people. Get the lies out, expel the lies, bring in the truth. You know, it's a uphill battle, but it's a battle worth fighting, I feel. And that's right. I totally agree with that. God is not the author of confusion nor chaos, and the heliocentric model is just that, exactly. God is the author of order, right? Let's organize this mess. Let's put some order into this chaos. Let's figure this thing out. Right? The debates are a waste of time. Yeah, they are. They're a way of steering our minds away from figuring this puzzle out. The debates are a waste of time and energy, in my honest opinion. Why not just present the truth and the reason that their arguments don't work, be so much more cohesive and interesting? Exactly. That's it. That's it. That's it. This is why, I'm not with the debate. But when I brought, Brenda on here, I was there to prove a point. I was like, go ahead, Brenda. How are you not a liar? Go ahead, show me why you aren't a liar. Go ahead. Right. And I wanted Brenda to go ahead and say his piece and convince us that he's not a liar. Just go ahead, show us. Show us how you're telling us the truth, because you're a perfect example. And I didn't want to say anything, and I didn't want to disrespect Brenda. I didn't, and I still don't, right? But I wanted to use that lifestyle, that way of thinking, to show you that the lies are everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? I wanted to use that as an example, as this is what the lies do. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is exactly what I've been saying. This is a product of the lies. This right here. And it sucks. It sucks that it has to be said that way. But my thing is, where am I lying? Am I lying? If I'm lying, please point me in the right direction of where the truth is, so I can fix myself. And then we have more visitors. I love it. We have our man, Awakened Nemesis. Yes, my man. Love that dude, man. It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you. It's always a pleasure having you in here, man. I like having you in here, bro. Good guy, man. Awakened Nemesis, man. Good guy. Always coming in here, dropping some crazy ass knowledge on us, man. I love it. I love it. And so the truth isn't a pretty thing, man. It's never a pretty thing. And I'll tell you what. Being in this community isn't for the weak. It really isn't for the weak. I don't know Valley Parks. I don't know. I don't want to imagine that. I really don't even want to go there. I don't want to ask, and I don't want to feel as if I'm disrespecting Brenda either. Right? I don't want Brenda to feel as if he doesn't have a place to come in here and talk. Because if they want to talk lies, like, come on in. Come on in at your own risk. Brenda got the work from the community when she came in. He came in here talking that craziness. I was like, come on in at your own risk. I'm going to show you some respect. I'm going to give you some love, and I'm going to let you talk and expose yourself. Go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give Brenda his due diligence, his due respect, and let him speak. I'm going to let him do it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to block him or nothing like that. No matter how crazy he gets, it's like, go ahead. Let's let them see for themselves what it is. This is exactly what we're talking about. I don't fight that. Like, I let you do it yourself, man. I don't fight it. And then, just like a bad virus in a place that it doesn't belong, the community does the rest. The community does the rest. So I'm not fighting that. You know what I'm saying? I don't fight these things. Like, I let the community handle it. And what's and like I was saying, man, the flat earth, the true earth is not, it's not for the weak. It's not for the weary. It's a tough place because the truth is a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. The truth in things, man. It is, because you got to think, when the truth comes out, you have to be ready to be flexible, because there's a lot of things that I'm wrong about that I learned probably later on that I was wrong about. I was wrong. I said that I was wrong. And then you want to know something? I have to be ready to present to you, my audience, that I fucked up. Oh, damn, I thought this was this and I thought that was that, but I was wrong. I was wrong the whole time. So I have to redact. Actually, I won't redact. I'll just make a correction and I'll let it be known. I'll let it be known that I fucked up. I said A, B, and C. Meanwhile, those things were wrong. I have no problem doing that these days, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be wrong all the time. Now that's fucked up. If I'm wrong all the time, you know what I mean? But there is power in the tongue. There's power in the tongue, and forgiveness is there if you ask for it. And so but I can't be asking for forgiveness all the time. You know what I'm saying? You could patch up some holes in a ship, right? But too many holes in the ship, man, you're going to sink the ship after a while. So that's part of the whole integrity thing. I can't be wrong all the time. I have to be right sometimes. But at the same time, I have to let you guys know where I fucked up. I have to gotta let you know. I thought this was this and that was that. And for the most part, like, I'm not gonna say I've been doing a great job, but for the most part, if you guys find something where I fucked up, like, I'll thank you online, and then I'll give you guys credit when I can remember to give you credit for catching me in an error, right? Because I want to recognize those that do it, because you're looking for the same thing I'm looking for, and you just don't. And it's out of love that you guys correct me, and thank you. I appreciate that, because I want to be better. I want you guys to recognize me for who I am, yes, but at the same time, help me to get better. Because you guys, you guys are solid. You guys are real people, and you guys are good people. And I think you guys value what it is that I do. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to y'all. Right. But at the same time, you're ready to correct me when I fuck up. And I think that's one of the best signs of love that you could give to somebody, is to show them how to correct themselves, and to keep them on that path, because you want that person to continue down the right path and not towards a fucked up path. Because I've been there where I've been fucked up, like fucked up. I'm not as fucked up, right? Or I'd like to fancy myself as not as fucked up. You know that nutmeg was proven. Nutmeg. Yes, I heard about this. Death, but was withheld from the people, and the stocks hoarded and hidden by governments. History. Yes, I learned about this. Yeah. And then they hide nutmeg. Do you see how? So it goes to show you that there are people behind these things, but do you see? Yeah, and wow, that's amazing. But you see how twisted people it can be? And those same people that are hiding nutmeg are the same people that are telling you that this place is what it's not. Are the same people that are telling you that that shot that you could put in your body is good for you. Are the same people that are telling you that your appendix is useless. are the same people that are telling you, get rid of your tonsils. I remember in the 80s, get rid of your tonsils was damn near a movement. Are the same people that are telling you, you don't need your fucking pinky toe. Are the same people that are telling you, yeah, you could go ahead, you could be a dude and you could live a particular lifestyle. We like that. We'll support that. Are the same people that are telling you, you could be a woman, you could live a particular lifestyle. We like that and we support that. And so a lot of people fall into this fucking trap. They fall for it, and because they're comfortable in their errors and they're comfortable in their sin, and then this evil place, they support it. They support it and they push it. And people feel as if they're right or they're in the right because this system that pushes evil supports their evil, wicked ways and their wicked lifestyles. Like, I'm not a preacher. I'm not trying to be a preacher, but it's the goddamn truth, man. It's the goddamn truth. And I apologize for saying that like that. But I can't stress how much it's the truth, unfortunately. And when I fuck up and I sin, like, I got to call it out. I fuck up. Like, I know I fuck up. But I'm not going to sit here and say, well, come up with an excuse for my fuck up. No, it's either right or it's wrong. There's no shade of gray with the Most High. There isn't, unfortunately, for many of us. There's no shade of gray with him. It's either done well or not done at all. Done or not done. And yes, it is best to be honest. Mad Mac, what's going on, homie? Good to see you, man. It's good to see you, man, and we're happy to see you. Yeah. Yeah, man, family, as you guys come in, make sure to like, make sure to sub, make sure to share this content. I'm here. I know there are guys out there like Coffee with Jesus, Pastor Vincent Rose, coming in, drinking his coffee, sipping on his coffee, and talking with the people. Mad Mac. Waking Nemesis. What did Freemason Admiral Byrd mean when he said the North Pole is quite crowded up there now with a lot of military interests? I don't know. But with those big guns and those people and those ships and whatever else have you up there and then down there, we can only imagine what the hell's going on. I appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, like, share, sub, like. Don't tell me what to do, Roger. Watch out, Truth Trollette come out with the sledgehammer. She wants to be there. Sledgehammer. Remember that song by Peter Gabriel? Would you show for me? Show for me. I will show for you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Show for me. I used to love that song. I wanna be your sledgehammer. Why won't you call my name? Dun, dun. Come on, the sledgehammer. Dun, dun. This will be my testimony. Sledge. I used to love that song as a kid. You could drive a steam train. I should cut a track. But Saab would pick it up. He'd get it on his guitar, man. Got his bong on him, and he'd over there start picking away. And he'd be like, "That's actually in the key of of B." Hold on. I would play it, or not play it, but I would see what key that's in. I'll find out. Yeah, man. Cut a track. Yeah. David be like, hey, I gotta be in that. I gotta play. Yeah. Yeah, man. Pastor Vincent Rhodes, he's a good dude, man. He's solid. He's solid. I really like his channel. Coffee with Jesus. And he's funny too. I like his stuff, man. He don't be sitting up there just spouting off at the mouth and cussing. I be cussing a lot. But Pastor Vincent Rhodes is a stand-up dude. And you got another bunch of dudes that are Christians that or I think they're Christians as well, are the Flat Earth Brothers, right? And they've been dropping a lot of good material recently. It seems like they took a little bit of a hiatus and then they came back and the Flat Earth Brothers, y'all know them to be the country dudes, you know, they're twins. And they'll what they'll do is they'll say that my heavenly Father, he showed me through biology that the earth is in fact a wondrous place and that yes, it is flat. And me and my brother, we went and after recognizing this truth, we made a few good movies. And yes, the earth is in fact flat. Flat Earth Brothers. I forgot the brother's name, man, but these are solid dudes, right? And so everybody is starting to see this place for what it is. And everybody's telling in their own way, special way, right? That hold on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you that, Luke, right? Everybody's saying in their own special way that this earth is a flat, level, true realm. True. That's why I call this place True Earth. True Earth. Or True Earth Tuesdays when I'm on here on Tuesday, right? Josh and James? Josh and Jim? I forget. But there are two of them, and me being Josh and my brother Jim. And they both kind of look alike. Oh, they're twins, obviously. That's silly me. They both have beards, right? And we're both Christian, and Yehoshua Hamashiach, and we understand who he is. And yes, and we call on the name of Christ in order to help us and show us that this earth truly is in fact flat. And we can describe that and we can show it. And we have our awesome students here that do biology with us, and they're beginning to understand that this earth truly is in fact flat. I know all these damn flat earth channels is looking at me like, please don't. Please don't sit there and start mimicking me, dog. Please don't mimic me. I've got a crazy voice. Don't mimic me, please. You sound silly and don't. I don't need you to roll those dice. Okay, so you in Tennessee. They look like those guys are some stand-up dude, man. Well-principled guys, man. I like seeing that. And those are good examples to the community too. I like people like that. On Z's channel. Me and Z had a conversation. So if you want to talk about it, bro, I went ahead and I posted the link just now, man. Come on in, dog. Let's talk. Let's jive a little bit. Let's jive, shall we? I'm gonna come up with that mid-Atlantic fake British accent in America. So let's jive, shall we? Come on into my channel. We shall discuss this furthermore. Yes? Of course. So apparently you had a conversation with the Tetic Warrior, aka Z, eh? Of course. So there it is. I've dropped my link, sir. Good day to you, Mad Mac. Good day to you, sir. Good day to you, kind sir. My mid-Atlantic English right there. That bullshit ass thing. They motherfuckers used to talk back in the day. A good conversation indeed, sir. Yes, of course. I've dropped the link right there. Discuss with me. Come. Yes. Oh, okay. So listen, Mad Mac, I just dropped this link. Talk to me about it. Talk to me about it a little bit. I'm definitely gonna watch it. But kind of sauce up my ears a little bit. Can you get on, Mad Mac, or can you not get on, or what's up? I'm gonna watch that. Yes, hold on. Let me make sure. I am going to. Oh boy, how do I do this? Okay. Oh Lord. Oh boy, no. Get off the full screen, homie. Relax. There it is. Okay. Have you researched the expeditions by Yarl and his cruise? I haven't seen that. Okay, Mad Mac, I got you. Totally. Awakened Nemesis, I have not seen that. And of course, Awakened Nemesis knocks me upside the head with some information that I haven't seen. Surprise, surprise. No, I haven't seen that. I'm gonna look into that. Mad Max channel link. Okay. So let me go over to Mad Max's right there. Add Mac. Mad Mac. Hold on. Mad Mac. I don't see it. I don't see it. What we got here? Luke 23. Yeah. Luke, welcome, bro.
Thank you.
How's
How you doing?
everything? I'm not bad, man. I'm not bad, man. It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you.
You too. You too. I thought I'd just come on and keep you company. And I don't really have anything particular to talk about.
That's okay.
So we can just shoot the breeze, I guess.
Yeah, man. Company's good, man. I appreciate it. I don't get much of it up here. And a lot of it's my fault. I don't drop my link often. But I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more now.
Yeah.
Cool. And thank you, man. Thank you for joining me up here. What
do you got coming up?
So I have potentially Flat Earth Friday tomorrow or tonight. I don't even know what time it is right now. I've lost myself. It's almost 4 a.m. on the East Coast here in the United States.
Oh.
It's 3:45. Yeah. I have that. And you know, whatever show may come, but we also have we have our brother Vika Trazif. He is doing his thing on Sunday. Flatzoid, everybody knows, has his show every day, right? Around 3 p.m. Eastern. And I think 8 o'clock his time. 8 o'clock p.m. or 9 o'clock p.m. his time. And I don't know. But the thing is all are open for discussion and all are available for everybody to check out. There are so many of these good channels that we have. So I'm really considering what Z said, right? That these Zetetic astronomers called out what this place was ages ago. But I still have my belief. I'm not going to lie. I still have my belief that there is no possible way for a 24-hour sun, right? But at the same time, I'm still of the truth. My belief is one thing, but the truth is I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen down there. I could take whatever somebody wrote and I could say whatever I want, but I don't know. What I do know is that this place is flat. I've seen it for its flatness. I don't know what this earth is, the sun. I don't know. I don't know. But the scriptures say, the Bible says, and this is where I lose people, but whatever, I don't give a damn. The Bible says that the sun and the stars and the moon and all that stuff in the sky is for signs, seasons, days, and years. And how have we been using those stars, moon, and suns? For signs, for seasons, for days, and for years. Right or wrong?
Yeah. I thought I knew about the sun, and I was wrong. What it does. So I was of the belief that there can't be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, because I was buying into a certain model, and I had it proven to me that the sun comes up in Australia, where I lived for most of my life, that it came up from the southeast, and then it went. No, so I'll start again. I was always of the belief, and I thought it was a fact, that the sun down south, like in Australia and South Africa, places like Chile, that the sun rose to the north, right, east northeast,
right,
and it went down west northwest, and then it went across our northerly sky.
Yes.
So that would make sense. That would make sense on the flat Earth map. But I was on, was it Z's channel or Nachikita's channel?
Right.
And that Jake fella was talking about this, and I'm like going, there's no way. Absolutely. Grew up down there. No way. And brings out this SunCalc website.
Right.
And then the SunCalc website's showing, it's coming up to the south. Sun rising to the south, setting to the south. I'm like, all right, I don't trust that. Who is that from the government? Whatever. And they're like, no, it's observations.
Yes.
I said, hang on, I'll call my dad. And so I called up my old man. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm just sitting on the veranda having a drink. I said, can you have a look and see which way the sun's setting? He goes, well, it's setting to the northwest as always. I go, are you sure? He goes, hang on, I'll go have a look. So he worked out where east-west was, and it surprised him as much as it surprised me. He said, bugger me. It's setting to the south. I'm like, yeah, that's unbelievable, isn't it? He goes, yeah, I can't believe it. And so he hasn't been up early enough yet to see the sun come up, but I'm betting if he does, down there in southern Australia, that it'll be coming up towards the south.
So what time of year?
What
time of year was this?
This is a week ago. It's about 2 weeks ago. So this is the end of we're halfway through spring.
Springtime, so the days for you guys. Longer. Yes.
Yeah, the days are getting longer.
Yeah.
And if the SunCalc is to believe, that sun is going to be coming up more and more to the south as the days get longer.
But my thing is, looking at Australia on a
madness.
Map. It is, because let's take a gander, guys. We're going to go to Urbano Monti's map, Mappa Mundi. And it's basically, well, actually, you know what? Let's not go to Urbano Monti's map, because they don't really. Let's go to Gleason's map.
I may be confusing. Yeah, grab the Gleason's map and then let me explain to people what the implications of this are.
Totally.
I had to admit I was wrong about something, and
that's and that's okay, man. That's okay. This is why, like, I'm not one, just because I look like a doofus, I'm not gonna hide from the fucking truth. It's the truth, and we all need it. It doesn't have to be pretty.
Yep.
We all need
That's
it.
right.
That's
we
what
don't
this
need
is.
to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we don't need to go. Be all one in a team. This community all sticks together. I'll stick with people if they're striving to find the truth. That's what I'm about.
Exactly.
Especially, I'm a Christian.
Yes.
I want to stand on the truth, and if someone doesn't want to, then I don't want to be on the same team as them.
Exactly.
They don't have to agree with me. Like we can go back and forth about this type of topic, but as long as they're trying to get to the truth, then that's all you can ask for.
That's it. That's it. And that's the thing, guys. I want you guys to like me for telling you the truth. I want you guys to like me for being honest, not because you think I'm cool. As soon as I start losing credibility, as soon as you see that I'm hiding things from you, call me out, cut me loose. Because that's not at all what I'm intending to do. That's not at all and I'm putting my nuts out there on the line, man. It's not an easy fucking feat, but like, this is how serious I am about this stuff, y'all. Like, this is how serious I am about this. And I don't take this stuff lightly. And I want us all to succeed. I want us all to eat. I want us all to win. And the only way we could achieve this is by being honest with what it is we're observing, right? It's the easiest way, I'd say. So right here is the equator. Right here, y'all. Cutting through Borneo is the equator. And then right here is the right here.
Tropic of Capricorn.
Is Capricorn. This one right here.
Yeah. So hover. Go to the Tropic of Capricorn and hover it right above Tasmania. So it'll be directly above Tasmania.
Hold on. So that's the equator, and this is let me make sure. It's like around here.
Tasmania's
Oh, no.
The little island.
Yep, right here. But no. I'm sorry. Nope, it's
that's right. That's right. You're almost there.
Yeah. New Zealand. So wait. Tasmania. Wait, now I'm getting
Tasmania. You're on Australia now. Go south of where you are. Right. See that little island? That's
Tasmania. Yes. Okay.
So just onto the mainland, right, is Victoria. So just across the Bass Strait from Tasmania is the state of Victoria.
Okay.
Right. So there you are. There you are. Go down further south. There. You were on it. Anyway, that's the state of Victoria. So that's you would have heard of Melbourne. Okay. Now that's Tasmania. That little island is Tasmania.
It's Tasmania, okay? And then you've
north
got
of
New
that
Zealand right here.
Yeah, that's
and the other joint, Tasmania.
So
okay.
North of Tasmania is Victoria, so that's where I'm.
Right here, yes, I see it right here,
and that's where my family is now. So Dad, he's there, half an hour before the sun goes down a couple of weeks ago. Now the sun should be circling along the Tropic of Capricorn.
Yes, but it's not fully here yet because it's not winter time, or the way we understand
it's in between. Yeah, it'll be to the north of the Capricorn, between Capricorn and the equator.
Right
so in
here.
October, correct. It's not quite at the Tropic of Capricorn. Yeah.
So it's like right around here. It's starting to develop into a warmer spring, starting to transition into your summertime.
Yeah. So if the sun is circling just above the Tropic of Capricorn on this model, where should the sun be coming up to Victoria and Tasmania?
To Victoria, it should be like right here. It should be right here in respect. So it's the northeast and then the setting at the northwest.
Yeah. So it's actually coming up the opposite. It's coming up below New Zealand.
Right here?
Yeah, down there. See where it says South Victoria land? It's coming up from there in that direction. So that's how bizarre is that? That's weird.
Victoria. I see. Where's South Victoria land?
Oh, it's right at the ice wall.
Oh, shit. Right here.
Yeah. So it's coming up from that direction, the sun.
What?
So it's coming up southeast instead of northeast. All right.
Oh, and then when it sets, it's well beyond
It's
the
it's
freaking
like
Tropic
if
of
it was circling,
Capricorn.
if
Right.
it's circling, it's coming from Antarctica. Now, the further you go south, the
Right.
more it's severely coming up. So this is why I am now open to the idea that there may be a circling sun because of where the sun is coming up
Right.
towards Antarctica, towards the south, and it's setting towards the south as well. What is
Now
going
you-
on? Can't
now
explain it.
Now you see, this is why I've said, why can't we just put people on New Zealand? Why can't we just put people? Because I mentioned New Zealand. I'll be honest with you. I know where Australia and New Zealand is and Auckland
Yeah.
is in
Yeah.
respect to each other. I didn't
Yeah.
think about even consider Tasmania. Maybe I should consider
Well, it's-
Tasmania. I didn't even know where it was. But my thing
It's
was,
just
during
yeah.
the winter time, throw somebody on this mug right here because it's beyond the Tropic of Capricorn. It's beyond, which I mean is further south, right? So we could see where the sun comes up because it's beyond it. Or if you don't want to do that, you find someplace, you find Ushuaia, right? Someplace in South America, and you have people observe. I did not know that.
This is where sun kelp comes from, lad. This
So-
is where the sun kelp is observations. Apparently, that's where they're getting
Yes.
it from.
Holy
Now-
moly.
Now, the sun coming up to the south makes
Right.
sense where you are in the northern hemisphere.
Yes.
So if you look up sun kelp where you are in the States,
right.
and it's starting to get, your days are starting to get shorter and you're going into winter, the
Right.
sun kelp will be south of where you are, sunrise and sunsetting.
Right. Like, well, like
Where
this-
it should be on this map and where it should be on the globe. On those two
exactly.
models.
Exactly. So from here, this is where I'm at, in and around here, right here. The sun is never going to come up above, or according to this model. Let me
Yep.
correct myself. According to this model, it will
Yep.
never come north of Florida. Never. It will stay beneath Florida because
Yeah.
this is where the Tropic of Cancer is
Yes.
for Florida, right here.
Yep.
Right? It will never come north of that. And so every time the sun comes around and does its circuit, it's going to bounce between the Tropic of Cancer right there and the Tropic of Capricorn. Like, I think right here. Yes. Right here. Right here or right here? No, right here. Yeah. Right. And then this is where the equator is. And then the Tropic of Capricorn. So it'll stay between here. But what throws me off is what Australia is doing. And so did you get to see this yourself, Luke?
The sun setting? No. I'm in Thailand, so I called Dad and asked him to do an observation before the sunset, and he was saying, "You're crazy." I go, "Well, just check for me."
Right.
And he went, "Righto," and so he worked out. He did his little direction east-west, and he with the help of Google Maps, and he said, "I can't believe it. It's setting to the south." So I'm just going to send you a link in the chat.
Right.
So this is why this Jake the Arsehole was going on about it. And I'm just like, nah, I'm going to prove this guy wrong.
Yeah. And so you know what? It's funny that you said that because Jake the Asshole came up guns ablazing on me. And so I was, and this is why, let me get my face up here because okay, you guys can see my face. Great. Now, this is why I wanted to kind of talk about it because I sat back and I decided to think. Jake the Asshole, now I'm looking at it from his perspective, right? And he blew up on me, or he didn't. I don't even know if he really meant to blow up on me, but he wanted to get a point across and he was doing his best. He did it his way, right? I didn't like it. But my thing is at the end of the day, I have to fucking suck it up. You know what I'm saying? And I have to put my fucking ego aside. And I have to, and I wanted to listen to him. But at the same time, I didn't like the disrespect, but I get it. I was being disrespected. I shouldn't have to take that. Yeah. Right. But at the end of the day, like, he was right. He was right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was right. And it's like I wanted to listen to him. I wanted to listen to him. I was like, Jake, then talk to me, man. Just talk to me. Don't talk at me. I hear you're frustrated. and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, mouth powerland, mouth power math, not mouth, math powerland." What's his name? Eric Dubé. He was making fun of me, and he, doing all that, and I was listening to him, but I feel that to some degree, I was still a little bit butthurt by him
Yeah,
coming
well,
at me that way. And it was like, and part of me was defending myself, but it was at the same time, I was like, all right, shut the fuck up, man, and listen to this son thing. But there shouldn't be buts, but I have to put a but. I spoke about Jake the Asshole and what it was he was presenting, because I was like, this is interesting. Jake, I don't know if Jake is wrong here, but it seems like he's got a point. Because I went to his channel and I dropped him some love. I threw him some money. I was like, hey, man, this is a really good fucking thing. This is something that I need to bring to the channel, because he's actually, thank you, Luke. Thank you for that. I actually see it. I see it right now. And I brought that in there. And what I'm going to do is, family, I'm going to copy. Thank you, Luke, for that. I'm going to put this in the chat, y'all. I don't know if you did that already, Luke, but I'm going to put that.
No.
That's the Sun Calc, y'all. Y'all go ahead and you guys devour that. You guys make sure you get very familiar with it, because I sure as hell am.
And also, we're not asking you to trust that information, but
Right.
what that is, apparently it is all based on observation. So people stand at a certain point. Like, so I've just sent you that link, is Melbourne, Victoria, which is the second biggest city in Australia. And that's close to where I grew up. And that'll show you, if you want to share it, it'll show you the angles where the sun is coming up right now and how far south it gets at the height of summer.
I'm about to share that here in a second. Thank you very much, by the way. Let's share it, y'all. All right, so right here is the Sun Calc, Sunrise, Sunset, Shadow Length channel, y'all. Right here. So this is Melbourne. What you're talking about, Luke. So Luke, go ahead, talk, and I'll drive.
All right. So you can see this dotted line. That is east-west. And then you can see running vertical north-south. So at the moment, the sun, if you're in Melbourne, you wake up whatever time the sun's coming up.
Looks like it's almost noontime.
It's 6:09 in the morning is when this is dawn, and it's coming up. You can see it's slightly south of east, isn't it? So it's east southeast.
It looks like the sun is right here, right above.
Oh, that's where
Melbourne.
it is. That's the angle of the sun. So that arching action is
right
showing
here.
Where the sun,
this right here is the okay.
That's what it does. That's what it does during the day.
Right.
So we were always So it does. It starts off slightly to the south, but by a few hours into the morning, it's now in the north. It moves to the north.
Right.
And so I think the reason why I always thought it was coming up to the north is that it moves across the northern sky.
That's what I was thinking.
Homes in Australia always want to be north facing, so they get the sun. But it doesn't start in the north.
And what I was thinking is, instead of taking this route right here, that you guys were seeing this right here, a U shape instead. That's what I was thinking.
We would have thought that the angle that it's coming up in the south would be towards the north at a similar angle.
Wow.
Right. So see where that sun's going down. Where's it headed to? Is it headed to Africa? Or it's not, is it? It's not on the way to Africa. But if you go to say Cape Town, to South Africa, you'll see the same sort of. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not heading towards Africa. It's heading towards Antarctica. So this throws all the models out the window. And what I would say to anyone in the chat or anyone who's watching, go and look for yourself. Go and watch this. If you are in the southern part of the world, so if you're down the south of South America, like Argentina or Chile, or you're in South Africa, or you're in Australia, especially if you're in Australia, see for yourself, get up in the morning and watch the sunrise and watch the sunset. And it should back up what you're seeing on this SunCalc.
Yep.
So I think one of the reasons that Jake is getting emotional and really triggered is that apparently he's been trying to show this to people for a long time.
He has been. He said that. He did. He said that. And I defended it. I said, yo, Jake is on to some shit. And then I said, you know, but I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know, because I still have this belief, because we still have this model. Now, I'm saying all that because I'm speaking the truth from what I think I know. But I'm also speaking it because I'm like, I could be wrong, or we could be wrong. It's not as if I'm not going ahead and saying that he's totally right or totally wrong, because nobody's been to Antarctica to make these observations yet, right? And if he is right, then go bless him. Go ahead.
Just Awake Nemesis has asked a question in the chat, and the sun rising in Australia proves what, though? All it proves is that I was wrong.
Yeah. Really, that's what it is. Is that our
I don't know.
assessment?
I don't know what it's proving. It doesn't mean the Earth is not flat. I still think the Earth is flat. I know the Earth's still flat. I just don't know what's going on with the sun. Do you, Awake Nemesis?
Yeah, and that's the thing, is we're not concluding that because the sun do these things that the Earth is a ball now. That's not at all what we're saying. We're speaking strictly on the observation as to what the sun does. I think you guys know that, though. You know what I'm saying? At least I'm assuming so, right?
The sun is it's not what mainstream science says.
Definitely
it's also not what the common model is that it's circling around. Well, who knows what it's doing, but it's certainly what we're seeing in the sky is a mystery. It's hard to work it out what's going on.
I hear that, Awakened Nemesis. There is no evidence of a 360 ice wall, in my honest opinion. Ha ha ha, Barbara.
Well, there's not really, is there?
No, there isn't. But you also, like, let me show you something. I'm gonna go ahead
I
I'm gonna
haven't seen
out. We just went ahead and we dropped the SunCalc joint link inside that. So if you guys want to take a look at that, I'll go ahead and I'll drop it one more time in here. Okay, I'll drop it one more time. All right, so that's the SunCalc thing. Guys, listen, as you get these links, take them, click on them. After you click on them, save them to your desktop. You see that star in the top right of your address box? Click on that and save these channels in your address box. Okay, so they become part of whatever not search engine, but Google or Firefox or Explorer, Edge, whatever it is you're using, AOL. Make sure you hold on to that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get away from the SunCalc joint. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. And then what I'm going to do, we were just talking about the ice wall. I want to show you guys something that I might have shown you guys before, but we've got a couple of new people added on to the family, grafted in. I want to show you guys this, right? Hold on, where is it at? Hold on. It's coming, y'all. Give me a second. Okay. So this is what we see. And I could be wrong, but this is what we see right here. The UN. Southeast Asia, Southwest Asia, Southeast Asia, them Russia and stuff like that. You've got the meridian. National date line right through here. But you've got this big ass gap right here. This big ass hole. Could this be and I've said this before, could this be much of the ice that we see And then we have this opening right here. We have an opening right here. What the hell is that opening? It just looks like a couple of olive branches, or wreaths or laurels, whatever you want to call it. This right here. But you have this big ass gap. I feel these maps mean something all the time, and every aspect of this map means something. They're not just drawing these, like the number of these leaves. They possibly mean something. They're not just drawing just to draw, and they're just making an abstract arrangement. This is open. Why? So then I'm going to get out of this, okay, guys? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this right here. Okay? And I'm going to show you guys this. Oh, Lord have mercy. There's got to be a better way. Where is it at? This right here. Okay, it's opening, y'all. Oh, boy. There it is. That open. And I'm going to go ahead and share that with y'all. Okay. Who's this? What's that? Edit. Let me get rid of that nonsense. So here we go right here, right? This is where we're at. Or, yeah, this is where we live, right? And then you have this opening. Can you guys see that? Can you see that, Luke?
Yep.
Okay. But you have this opening right here.
Right.
So we could call this potentially, and here it is. We're speculating, and that's all we're doing. We're speculating.
Okay.
I'm not saying that this is in fact the fact or the facts, but what if there's more than one of these jokers up in the sky at any one time? Look at that. And look at this. I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm like, these could be the possibilities. Or they could be totally wrong. Who knows? But look at this big ass gap right here. This big giant opening right here. Now, what's one thing that's in common in this map and every other map? Luke, what do you think? All this space, or what we consider space, the Pacific, all of this ocean, that there's nothing in here except for this big ass gap that we see in these drawings right here. This is what's consistent. In the UN map, it's the same thing. This big ass hole, man.
What is this? What is the extra lands beyond the wall based on? Is this like Admiral Byrd sort of stuff?
I guess so. More land beyond the wall. The lands beyond the wall. What is it?
I agree. I agree with Awakened Nemesis.
What did he say? I'm sorry.
He said the outer lands are a psyop.
Probably, yes. They're probably a psyop. Probably.
And I think it's a distraction because I don't know for certain, but I think the main reason for why they hide Flat Earth is they're hiding God. But when someone like David Weiss, when David Weiss gets asked what are they hiding, he always goes for extra lands.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I've told him, I was like, dude, you don't know that. Stop saying that, because now you're getting people. And this is why I'm like, is it possible? Maybe. Are these things potential? Maybe. We don't know, right? Because there's a lot we don't know. And there's a lot that we keep learning that we think we know, but we wind up not really knowing, right? But when he says it is this, I'm like, dude, like, please stop. Because now you're pigeonholing people into this is what it must be. What it must be. And then I'm like, no. Now you have people burning into their mind that, oh, it's more land. Nobody knows that. Doesn't matter who wrote what. Nobody knows that. We don't even, with you telling me what your dad observed as to what the sun was doing in the springtime, showing up behind Australia in the south, we don't even know what the sun is doing. We're not even sure with what the sun is doing. And then you're going to say that there's more land?
Yeah.
saying all that to say this, right? I could totally be wrong with the 24-hour sun. And I've been on record saying I don't believe that there is a 24-hour sun in the South. I don't believe that there's a 24-hour sun in the South during the winter solstice. I don't believe that. I've been on record for saying that. And I'm not doing damage control. I'm just saying if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And it's something totally different. And then you had guys like freaking Jake the Asshole, guys like, I hate to say it, but even Q and Fee saying these potential realities, right? Based off of observations. SunCalc. We have tools here. We have tools here to show, hey, it's not what you think. And then at the end of the day, you gotta call it what it is. If you're wrong about some shit, admit it. Fess up. You're wrong. I'm wrong. Not you. Me. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I could have just been seeing the model's version and bought into it like a lot of other people. The model. But meanwhile, I didn't know. But my belief was so sure that it could be this and that. But, instead of being consistent and staying with what I know, and because of what I've seen myself, this earth being flat, that's what I know. That much I've seen. And I could tell you from experience too, and positively with my chest, that yes, it is flat. I got to see this. I got to observe it, and proudly. But those other things, I have to be honest. I didn't see the sun doing what the model calls for it to do. And that saying that this is what the sun does as if I was positive, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. And so this is part of my job as well, guys, not to steer you into being wrong, but to give us, like Luke, thank you, man. And I appreciate you, bro, for bringing us the tools available. And I'm sure fucking Jake the Asshole is like, fuck you, man. You're an asshole for not, you're a Jake the Asshole, he's probably saying to me, for not listening to me and taking it. But you know what, man? Everybody has their season of failure sometimes, and of seeing the truth when you're ready to see the truth. Maybe I was ready today to actually see the truth, even though I heard Jake the Asshole say this, even though I heard Q and Fee say this, and I saw them say it, and I even brought it up to my channel. I still went with the old model. And I even was on record for saying, I think there's still a 24-hour sun. I still think there is. And I could be wrong.
Well, what my opinion is, I think whether it's real, whether the 24-hour sun is real or it's not in Antarctica, they're coming back with that result.
Yes.
They wouldn't be going to all that trouble. They've got this false dichotomy. If it's 24 hours, it's a ball. If it's not 24 hours, it's flat. So they're going to go down there and they go, hey, look at this. Whether they have to fake footage, whether they've got this sun simulator that people are talking about, or there really is a 24-hour sun. The result is already known. Okay, the official story will be that there's a 24-hour sun, and they're going to, there you go, guys. It's a globe. See?
Yep.
And
yeah, it's with them. It's either if it does this, it's flat. If it does that, it's a globe. And it won't do that. Therefore, it is a globe. And I'm like, that's not fair. But they know they can play on the minds of the masses, because the minds of the masses are they're already corrupted. And the masses in general already think that the earth is a ball anyway. So it's easy to get them in their camp.
Yeah,
it's easy. Nobody has an inquiry. Not too many. I'm not gonna blanket statement people, but to some degree I am. Not everybody is going to be inquisitive enough to say, well, why does it have to be a ball? Why can't it just be we don't know?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say that. They're going to be just like, oh, it's a fucking ball. See, we knew it the whole time. The flat earthers lose. They're stupid idiots, just like we thought they were. The world is actually a ball. Meanwhile, it doesn't matter how far you could see the lasers. It doesn't matter how much you can prove that there is no space like we think it is. They're still going to call it a ball. And that's going to be a big victory. It's going to be a feather in the cap of the globe. And this is something that Z has been crying about. Not crying. I'm not trying to make him sound like he's a crybaby. But he's yelling. He's been talking about. He's been saying. This is stuff that Jake the Asshole and Q and Fee, even though we had our disagreement. Like, this is what they've been saying. They've been saying this. And this is why they were so upset. And my thing is if I'm wrong, like, please show me instead of yelling. Like, don't yell in my face like I can't hear you at that point. It's too much. It's too much when you yell in somebody's face. Don't do that. Like, talk to me about it. Or even pull me to the side. Because I go to your channel and I support it. Like, pull me to the side. Let me know, brother. Talk to me. And I'll be more than happy to listen. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I'll be more than happy to play your shit. And I'll be more than happy to listen. And my thing is, I'm going to be about the honesty of it all. I'm going to be about the truth of it all. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not about fucking covering my ass. I'm about getting the truth out to the people. And I want this to be a show of quality in what it is that's being reported. The quality of what's being reported. And part of that is if I fuck up, I need to show that I'm contrite, number one, in that I fucked up, and fucking be ready to admit my fucking wrongdoing, right? Or my mistakes, and fucking patch it up with the truth. Show that there is a truth out there, right? We don't know what that truth is, but is this a possible truth? Totally. We won't know until this observation goes down what the sun does, right? For sure.
Yeah,
during that time period.
I find it fascinating because the sun is just now a total mystery. Grew up, had the model, we're on a ball, we're spinning around the sun. Then I came to flat earth. No, the sun's spinning around us, and now that's gone. And that's, to me, been, if it's spinning around us, it's doing some strange things. So it's like, I don't know what it's doing. Doesn't make sense. And
that's right. That's right. So my question is this, right? In what direction do the major bodies of water flow? So when I'm talking about the major bodies of water, I'm talking about the oceans, right? So it looks like the Atlantic runs from east to west. Am I correct?
I don't know how the oceans work.
So
as far as you mean like the tidal movements and
yes, in general, like the currents, in which direction do they flow? Because this is what I was thinking while Z was talking, man. Something about the water and the sun and the moon and the stars. Something about that water, that there is an effect that it has on those things. I'm thinking it has something. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But it has some effect. I'm like, if it's giving us these crazy things in the sky, or if the sky is giving us something that we can't figure out, and these things are turning, what else is moving? I'm like, the water's moving. The water's moving. Even though it looks like it's going back and forth, it's going in a direction. And so is not the sky above us is turning as well. But what if they're turning in unison, but we just don't see it? You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? What if they're turning in some kind of unison, and they have to be? That after effect that we see in the sky, those stars, the sun, the moon, all that, is a byproduct of some electromagnetic magnetic occurrence that's happening in the water. And what we're seeing is a result of what's happening here on the land. As above, so below. Why not? Did y'all hear me? Am I in here alone? Oh, my bad. I was like, yo, goddamn internet, I got to do all that over again. I don't know what the fuck I just said. Right? So, okay. So I'm sitting there, I'm driving in my car, and my mouth is open because I'm like, well, if that's the case, if that's the case, not A is B is C. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm trying to say, but the possibility of it. Because I'm like, okay, so then what am I doing? Am I trying to figure out what the sun is doing? Am I trying to figure out? No, like, why? Why turning? Okay, of course, the Bible says signs, seasons, days, and years. Okay, that's what the Bible says. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying that it's wrong because that's what we use it for, totally. But why moving? The water's moving. The water, I could tell you from east to west, right? From Atlantic in Africa, going to the United States, it travels from it looks like it travels from north to south, right? In an angle. Let me show y'all. Let me bust out the Gleason's map. Frank Monday. Hold on. We're going to add Frank Monday real quick. Frank Monday, I believe. Frank Monday, what's going on, family? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you, man? Ironworks?
Man. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go by Ironworks or you go by Vlad? Or it doesn't matter.
Oh, Vlad works, man. Vlad work, Ironwork. Vlad works or Ironwork. That works as well.
All right,
I'm going to bring you guys this right here. Hold on. Oh, Lord have mercy. Give me a sec. I'm going to open this Gleason's map for y'all.
But before you guys deviate, I wanted to say if we could sound the sun for just a second.
Go ahead, talk.
Well, I was listening to you, and I'd heard this about, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, but I had come across it again recently, yesterday. I don't know if you're at all familiar with Rudolf Steiner. Are you familiar at all with his work?
No. Let me write that
okay,
down.
But he talked about the sun and the moon a lot. He was I think he was a Lutheran German scientist. He ended up starting his own study called anthroposophy. Anyways, he was talking about the sun. He says if physicists considered that the sun would be filled with a hot gas or something of this kind, I'm reading from one of his lectures. He says what the physicists actually picture are a ball of glowing gas or something like that. He says, but it's not so, my dear friends. This is definitely Maya or complete illusion. And he says this representation cannot hold water in the face of true physical perception that is possible, let alone what can actually be perceived spiritually. He says, were it possible to get near the sun, to reach where the sun is, we should find, yes, indeed, we should find something that would have the same effect as going through floods of light. But when we came right inside where the physicist supposes the sun to be, we should find first what we call only empty space. Where the physical sun is supposed to be, there is nothing at all, he says, absolutely nothing. And then he goes on to give allusions as to why. But I had not heard this in a long time, and I was just curious if you guys had. Damn it! Did I get disconnected? No, I'm still.
No, you're here. You're here. I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
So I had not heard that in a long time, and I was on Chiqueta's transmission when I saw you the other day, and you guys were discussing the 24-hour sun, which I didn't know much about either. And I was thinking maybe our way of perception of it is that if you were at the ice wall, if there is an ice wall, then you might be able to have a different, thinner perception of atmosphere and perceive it as such for that period of time. But again, I've only been studying this stuff for about 7 years, and I haven't been as diligent as many of as you have. But I was just wondering if you had heard Steiner's
No.
Steiner's representation as the sun as well. And when I heard him talking about it yesterday, he was using the idea of like a bottle of soda. And when you look
Right.
into a bottle, of soda pop like Sprite or something, you can see the bubbles,
Right.
right? And you may not perceive the soda itself because it's denser, but you'll
Right.
definitely see the bubbles, and they're less dense. And he uses that illustration to correspond to the appearance of the sun in the sky as well. The reason we perceive the other atmosphere is because it's much denser with hydrogen and oxygen. Or
It
whatever.
serves as a good contrast. It allows it to be contrasted.
Correct. Now, I don't know if that helps at all if I'm bringing the understanding forward or just obfuscating it, but I'm definitely here to learn, and that's why I watch your channel and Nachiketa's and other folks, because I'm interested in this topic.
Well, listen, man, like I'm here to learn too. Don't get it twisted. So it's like anything helps, because what I don't put together, somebody in the audience might have given the piece of a puzzle to somebody that they can make some sense of this craziness, right? That we're observing. And
Okay.
so to me, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying that it needs to make sense. That's not at all what I'm
Right.
saying. But
Right.
I'm saying that like we have a direction, or at least we have a direction in which we think the waters flow. So I was talking
Okay.
about the Atlantic, right?
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, I live on the Atlantic side. I live on the east coast of the United States. We have water that flows from Africa to the United States, right? We have it going from east to west. That's a major body of water. That is a major body of water. And so I'm looking at that and I'm like, damn, we have these stars and we have the sun and the moon that travel in the same directions. And I'm trying to figure out the correlation between the movement of the waters and the stars, if there is one. You know what I'm saying? If there is one. Now, my hang up is this. It's a hang up, but I'm wondering if there's a way in which this thing moves. Because if the water's flowing from east to west, if it is, because then you could go to the Pacific and it could be doing something totally different, right? It could be. I don't know. I'm not too familiar like that with the waters of the Pacific. But if it is, but if it isn't, say it's moving from east to west, even in the Pacific side. So even from California over, through Hawaii, over to Japan and towards Asia, right? Southeast Asia and everything else like that, and towards the Asias. And then I'm trying to think, how would it flow? How does it flow? And then I'm thinking about in the northern regions, right? I'm thinking within the ice, the Arctic regions. How does the water come out from there? If it's coming out from there, which many of us believe, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. Many of us might believe that the waters come out from there like a breathing kind of fashion, right?
Right. And then they're circulated back through the
Yes.
giant whirlpools.
Yes. So in the middle of that, it's like a giant whirlpool, and it's going like a reticulum.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going like a reticulum. And then when it's getting pushed out, it goes in a reticulum. And then when it breathes in, when it goes back in, when the tides come in, I guess it goes in some kind of reticulum, like a toilet bowl. But then it spits out like a toilet bowl, just in reverse. And so I'm wondering, and that's where I'm wondering, do the stars, is there a correlation between that and what we see up in the sky?
As above, so below. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It would seem to me that it would, because we talk about an expansive plane, right? And many say that it's the firmament, sea level. We know all of this. And then the main argumentation that I've been hearing recently is whether or not it's stationary or if there's an upward vector and how that would play out. And I've contemplated the idea too that the motion there has to be something in it. It seems like it would seem that there has to be something in motion, otherwise it can't circulate. And if it is as above, so below, as within, so without, our systems circulate. There's motion in our systems,
Yes.
right? And if we're a microcosm of the macrocosm, then we're also divided into a breathing system above, and then a processing system of sewage disposal and stuff at the lower levels of our body. I think I timed out.
No, you're here. I think I might have froze. Hold on, let me see. You froze up because I'm not frozen. There you go.
Okay.
You're good.
It's a little tough for me. I'm behind the bamboo firewall here in Twilight Zone, Old Peking. Did you catch me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, they don't always. Whenever I download and I watch YouTube, it's no problem. But as soon as I start uploading, I think they pay a little more attention to me. Yeah, not to worry though.
Yeah, man. This is I think we get close to something. I don't know if did I lose you guys? Are you guys still there?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here as well.
I'd like to think. I'd like to think. How about that? It's not that I think, but I would like to think that we're in the realm of somewhere where I have no idea. All we could do is spitball with possibilities. Or that's all I could do. I'm not certain of anything. I'm not fucking certain of anything. I'm not. But I'm being honest. I'm being honest, guys. I'm just being honest. Excuse me. I apologize. I am. I'm not certain of anything anymore. It is what it is. But what I do know is that there is some correlation between this ocean or the seas and the sky and the firmament above, whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it a firmament, a dome, it's like an electric plate. It's just like an electric plate. And these stars, I don't know what the hell they are. The stars in the water, they function together somehow, because it seems as if the whole fucking thing is turning. It's turning like a big giant pinwheel or something. It's turning. Frank Monday. There you go, homie.
Okay, thanks. And sorry for that. I got bumped.
No. That's fine. That's fine. Shit happens. It happens to me all the time. Something is turning. I just don't know what. I don't know what. But then here's my other question then. Right? So then with this information, then what's the sun and the moon? Wait. So no, not what's the sun and the moon. So the sun and the moon, then they're kind of breathing too. They're moving in a breathing kind of fashion too, right? They have to be.
Yeah.
They're breathing too.
A living system, right?
They're the byproduct of something. They're like the after effect of something. They're the after effect of something. It's as if one is pushing the other one, or one is attracting the other one. And they're chasing each other like Tom and Jerry. and it, you know, and yeah, the so you know, it's as if when the sun moves, it carves. I maybe carves isn't the word. Maybe I haven't used the word properly. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
I
sir.
can, yeah, I can
All
hear
right.
you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no
It's
problem.
almost
Just
as
got
if
background noise here, so I'm keeping muted.
Yeah, me too.
all right, my bad. But it's
No
almost as
problem.
if when the sun is moving or it's moving so fast, it's like it's cutting wind, or the wind might be from the sun's heat and then the moon's cold colliding with that heat and making some kind of wind behind it. So even though they're not physical or tangible objects, they're doing physical and tangible shit cutting through the sky together, the sun and the moon. And they're bringing heat, and then they're bringing a cold, and then they're leaving. Okay, they're leaving a wake behind themselves. They are leaving a wake in the air behind themselves. That's what it seems like. That's what it feels like. But that doesn't explain what the stars are. Or looking at it from my limited way of thinking, what if those stars are just like points, like electromagnetic loops, right? Lines of flux. What if they're parts of lines of flux? Really? Because if you look at a magnet, right? If we look at a bar magnet and then we drop those iron filings around that bar magnet, what do we get? We get it looping from south to north, right?
Right, right.
And then those electromagnetic lines, those are lines of flux, really. Those are electromagnetic lines of flux. So maybe each one of those stars are just lines, like power lines, I guess you could say. That's the only term I could come up with. It's like a power line of some sort. But where does it terminate at? Where does it terminate at? What is it doing? But here's the thing, is it's moving. Even this is what we're taught, is that the electromagnetic field is moving and it's breathing. It's woo, 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 woo. It's growing, it's getting bigger, and it's doing that. Expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting. And just like you said, Frank Monday, is that we're like a small world ourselves. We're a small world ourselves. And if the world is doing that whole electromagnetic thing, we are.
You still there, Luke? He timed out for me.
Yeah. I
Oh, you're there.
apologize. I apologize, family. My stuff froze up.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm just spouting, guys. I'm just rattling off. Maybe you guys could pick something up that I'm putting down, or if not, that's okay. But I'm
Well, I'd like-
brainstorming with you guys, and I'm just rattling off what I think I know, and I could be
If I
wrong.
could-
Go
if
ahead.
I could,
please.
unless Luke, unless you had something to add, I could wait.
No, go for it.
Okay, so I have been studying the Steiner material to an extent, and I wouldn't rely my entire formation of my understanding on that. But I think what some people are missing, I would say missing in the community, is that they're contemplating most of these ideas from the entirely materialistic viewpoint, right? We do bring forth the Bible many times as a foundation of some of this understanding, but also I think one's own personal spiritual exploration is also important. And let me know if I go bad, throw up a hand or something, because I never know how well connected I am with the internet. but we can contemplate. We've all seen the yin yang symbol, the Taiji 2 of the Chinese, right?
Right.
And so I think it's one side of that is a nuts and bolts expression, like on the tree of life from the Hebrew teaching. We have the sphere of Hod, which is the mechanized sphere of engineering and industry. And then on the other side, we have the sphere of Netzach, which is the green sphere of the nature sphere. And if we contemplate the spirit coming into the material, the Chinese are of the opinion that man appears between heaven and earth. So they have this division of 3 levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the upper level, the heaven level, is the celestial level. And I won't speculate at this point as to what exactly that is, but the God force, God's power to animate the material, the prime material plane, comes down in the form of a lightning strike along the tree of life, right? And this is spirit entering into the material. So I think that
breath.
Right, the life breath.
It's breath.
The spark of the divine, correct.
Yes.
So I think sometimes when we contemplate like the mechanized aspect of the cosmos, we don't necessarily contemplate like the spiritual aspects of those things. Like you were mentioning the stars a moment ago, and I've done a lot of meditation. I'm 52 years old. I'll be 52 this spring. But I've done a lot of meditation and qigong, and I go out into the park or whatever, and I'm out and I'm directly interacting with the sky, whether it be early morning, late day, or in the evening. And I've had communications with the stars, so to speak, that are of a spiritual nature, an otherworldly nature. And in reflecting on Steiner's teaching, that he says each of the stars are like phases of development in the evolution of our realm. But he says that they're surrounded by angels and they're centers of energy, and they have entire angelic hosts, angeli and archangeli, and it's quite dense, his material. So again, I'm no expert on Steiner, but I have been out there and I have spiritually perceived those things directly, like my spirit interacting with the celestial forces. And I don't know. It's something other than just a nuts and bolts expression. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there are energies coming down from it. The ancient Chinese believed that they received direct spiritual communication from these starry clusters, and they say that each human spirit actually has a family in heaven, right? Like a celestial family that we communicate with, and we come down from there, we inhabit a body, and then we return to there, we back and forth. And when we're there, we have a much higher level of cognition or understanding, I would imagine. And while we're in human form, we take on, you've heard this, a mission of some kind. I've heard a lot from the Soul Trap section of the internet recently, and that seems I don't know how you guys are on that idea per se, but it seems very nihilistic to me and like self-defeating. Whereas I feel like, we're here, we've got this human body, which is a workshop of energies. Yes. And we're meant to refine. I think we're meant to refine spirit and refine like what we're doing right now. Human interaction. Steiner always, he reiterates this time and time again, that philosophical and spiritual conversation, like what we're doing, our interaction this way, is one of our highest purposes. That when we elevate our spirit and mind to the level where we are seeking the mystery, that's what it's all about. And that's what we should study. And that's what we should share. But I mean, that's about it. Yeah.
I totally agree, because I think it brings you somewhere to where it'll help you figure out answers to certain questions that you never thought you would have found answers in a place like that. It offers a time for you to get clarity, but at the same time, something to where you can grasp it, and it can help other things make sense. Other things that you might have put in the junk closet. It's like, wait a minute, I have a use for this right here. This kind of helps make this stuff make sense, which it may not serve a purpose at that time, but then you can use it for later. If that makes any sense. You're like, all right, there's a reason why I got this. But here, and I'm gonna make sure that when I need that access, I have it at the ready, type thing. But I think, the discussions are totally important, because anything, whatever is around us, anything that we see, anything that we experience, a lot of it has to come from someplace, right? And whether we're intentional about certain things or we're not intentional, or we may not know that we're not that we are intentional about something, but our subconscious works in very direct and we think mysterious ways, but our subconscious helps manifest a lot of things that we
Yeah, absolutely.
probably all the things that we experience as far as we know is probably from our subconscious making them into a reality of sorts, right? So cleaning up our thinking or finding a direct route to clean up our thinking, right? And I guess you could say working out the wrinkles of how we think into something cleaner and finer, to where the end result of what we experience is a better experience, or something to where once we get the final result, we're like, it's because I saw it through, or I manifested it a certain way. Like you start to make small patterns in how you think, so you can achieve certain results in how you want to live, or how you want your environment to feel and look. And then like certain things start to make sense. You're like, okay, if I keep doing this, like that will happen. Okay. And if I keep doing this, this will happen. What if I combine these things? Oh, wow. Okay. What if I stop this? Oh, no. I don't want to stop that. That's if I stop that. And so much, not only physically, but much of this starts here first. This is, I guess you could say this, I'm pointing at it as if I'm sure that this is what I was taught, right? That this is where it starts. It starts up here. And even now I almost sound like I'm insane right now, because now I'm starting to question, is this where my thought comes from? Because this is where I was taught. I was taught that all my thought comes from up here. What if it comes from over here? What if it comes from over there? I don't know. This is what I was taught. I'm going with what I was.
That brings into the conversation too. The view of mainstream science these days is that the brain, the chemical function of the human being, brings about consciousness, whereas our older, more spiritual view is that consciousness is non-localized, right? So the human body with its brain is very empty, and it's a receiver, more of an antenna, like a radio, tuning in, and we're receiving the signal of Vlad or the signal of Luke 23, right? Frank Monday is a signal from a more powerful divine source. And again, the Chinese would link that back to our celestial family in heaven, right? And I think when Christ came into the world and he talked about the Trinity, again, I do include the feminine spirit in the Trinity, right? The Father God, the Mother God, and then the Son. I know there's a lot of biblical battling back and forth on this idea, but I don't think that in the realm of natural law, we've never seen anything come about without a mother and father. I mean, not usually, right? It's not the typical example, but that we have this non-localized spiritual energy that we're kind of beaming into. And at the same time, I don't promote this as an idea of nihilism. I need to be very careful of nihilism, because some might say, okay, then if you have an eternal family in heaven, right, the kingdom of God, and then why not just return there? And I think that does some kind of play into it, because we've seen in recent times, you guys don't know, I do live in China, I think you know that, but like during lockdown, we were under like extreme oppression. Like I literally got locked into my apartment complex for like 8 months solid. And during this time, there was a lot of internet stuff going back and forth with like me and my family, and many of them were very pro for the jibber jab. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but everyone who went in that direction is now no longer in this world. Like I lost my father, my mother, my brother, and my best friend, and they were all huge advocates. And they 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, everybody
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, in 2024 now, my best, like the only person I was really even friends with on the internet anymore, his name was Tomas, and he's back in Sweden, and he kept telling me, yeah, you probably would want to consider it and re-up and make sure you're keeping up with your, this kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, I avoided it because I told the local people here that I had a heart condition, and I said I was worried that if I took that, it might affect my heart condition, which I don't actually have, but I got a medical exemption. Yeah. And I was able to slip past the radar, and they're no longer even talking about it anymore. Nobody's, it's done. That whole section of art.
Yeah, nobody wants to bring it up no more. But my
Right.
God, that happened. They're no
Yeah.
longer with us.
And my brother was only 46. My best friend Tomas, he was only 46. Both of them 46, which very, very unusual to me, I think, because Tomas was in perfect health, and then bam, and his family never gave me a definitive cause of death on him. That happened in March this year. But yeah, each year by year, they just dropped to the wayside. My mom was only 74, and she was in fairly good health when I visited her like the year before. And then every time they re-upped, man, somebody just dropped out of the party. And really, really a bummer. But I mean, we shouldn't discuss that too openly, I guess. But I wanted to testify and give you my testimony on that, because I think it is somehow relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that we discuss here on the channel as well. We discuss
Oh, do you?
the
Okay,
cocoa.
good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't back down from that. We call it something different. We call it the cocoa. We
Okay.
call it the Kool-Aid, right? We have
call it-
different names.
I call it the Coovies.
The Coov.
Like,
Yeah.
remember when you were a kid, you had the cooties. Don't get the
The
cooties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Coovies though. I like that one. Yeah, man. We talk about that. And yeah, man, my condolences to you and
Yeah,
yours.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. And
Yeah.
and I was grieving hard, man. Like when my brother went, because me and my brother are real close, like only about 2 years apart, year and a half, 2 years.
Oh my
And I had
God.
planned my entire life, like living over here in Asia, being in the Orient, doing my kung fu and shit. Like my golden years were going to be spent hanging out with my brother, like chatting on the porch and telling him all about China and stuff like that. And that whole part of my life got cut out of my equation, my life planning and stuff. So really a bummer. And then his spirit actually came to me, man, when I was deep in mourning. And he said, hey, man, hey, little brother. He said, if the belief in spirit means anything, and I believe that you believe, and he says, if spirit is true and eternal life is true, he said, grieve. This came after 6 months of him being gone. He said, grieve no longer, because I have returned home and I'm waiting for you. And I was like, all right. And so I had to let go of my grief. But then, just in rapid succession, one after another, I was like, motherfucker, what are they doing to me down here?
Yeah. But it's wild because it's fucked up how I call it fucked up because I can't give it another word right now, but it's strange, I guess you could say, how things happen in life that even when they suck, like suck, like bad, like unreal bad, like you have to take a step back. You have to get outside of your own feelings and your own emotions and take a good look at it and wonder, what is the lesson here? What am I getting? Because there is something that it's trying to tell me something. What am I learning? It's not just this sucks. No, there's information being passed on to me and I need to get it. There's something that I'm missing out on, that if I'm not getting it, I'm missing the point. Like I need to get it. And I think even when you grieve like that, you're growing. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to have to say that, but it's a sad thing that you lost them, but it's a
Right.
beautiful thing in that it's allowing you, I guess, to spiritually develop.
Yeah.
And to grow and to be part of whatever this is in a greater capacity, I guess you could say. But it's almost as if you're like Odin losing your eye to gain something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it sucks because they're shedding their human form and you're losing that humanness of them. But what are you gaining? Like what is the part of them that you're gaining that's greater? But even though you may not see it, maybe you can feel it, that you're like, oh, they've become part of something that's much bigger and much greater. I don't know what it is really, but apparently your brother is letting you know that, yeah, it's real, man. We're better here, and it's a lot stronger. I don't know. I don't know,
No.
but I think that there are lessons, and there are things to be gained from those crazy, shitty experiences. Totally.
Yeah. Well, I one of my outlets was I took to poetry, and I wrote a fairly decent poem, like expressing my grief after I had processed it a bit, and it came out quite eloquent and quite beautiful. And I used some inspiration from Edgar Allan Poe's Nevermore. And I was sitting there, I was crying really hard, and I'm like, Nevermore, Nevermore, it's never going to happen again. And it turned on itself, and it became Evermore. And my brother went from being, having passed from this world way too early in my mind, in my opinion, but that he's with me evermore. And he continues as a spiritual, as a part of my spiritual life. And obviously, if he's returned to the kingdom of God, then and I know there's a lot of different ideas on how that works and stuff, but I felt that I could carry that spirit with me evermore, rather than nevermore. But yeah, it was good stuff.
That's amazing.
Very tough to process, especially when it's one after another,
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of people experienced that. I wasn't alone in that. And even in my wife's family, we lost her father, and he was 70, I think 72, but he was in pretty bad health. But it happened right during that. The whole, what did you guys call it? The Coco, during the Coco. And like
The Coco.
that was a direct expression of their mismanagement here in the city. Like when they picked him up, he had supposedly gotten the cold, and they put him in like a little camp and stuff. And like they ended up, like, he slipped and he hit his head, and like it was a really like a dark and challenging time. And I wonder too, like, we can see how that played out. And it seems so theatrical and orchestrated and instrumented that, like, that was truly for humanity at that time, the dark night of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Like our passing from, and maybe a wake up call to let us know that the status quo was no longer there. Even the mass media, when they came back out, they're like, it's the new normal now. And it's like, wait a minute, is it a new normal? Or is it a time for us, like yourself, and to start ascertain our understanding and figuring things out in a new way? Because I don't think we can tolerate necessarily the new normal that they're proposing. Eating the bugs, living in the pod, and
No, people ain't going to be able to stomach that. People won't be able to take that, and that's going to be interesting. The last thing the Chinese government wants is a bunch of upset, rebellious Chinese people. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody in America wants to see it. Nobody in China wants to see it, right? No matter what people may think of those that live abroad, like, you don't want to see that. That would be an absolute nightmare. You know what I'm saying? And like, I could see why the Chinese government would want to keep that many people under control. But can you
Right.
imagine those people being fed up? Like, it's scary. It's scary to imagine it. Those people just being fed up and being like, you know what? We don't care how many tanks, how many missiles, planes, it doesn't matter. How many shock troops you have. That's the
Right.
scary thing.
Yeah, like my dad was a World War II guy, and he actually was in the Korean conflict. And he said when China came in to support the North, and they were in the South, right? He was a Navy guy, but he said that the Chinese expression "mountain people, mountain sea" is for real. Like, they've got such throngs of people and like amount of human power that even if they're just using sticks and rocks, and you've got atomic bombs, they're still going to win, because it's just wave after wave of flesh, and it's very, very, very hard to work against. And that's from the testimony of a World War II vet. My pops was in for 22 years.
Nice. Wow. And that's quite a perspective, because this is how wars were fought for a while, right? Just like that. They just throw people at you. Jesus Christ. Now I'm looking at, I know we've kind of gone off the rails.
Yeah, sorry to take you so far away.
No,
from the main topic.
No, just addressing the guys in the audience, because you have Awakened Nemesis over here.
Yeah, they're trying to bring us back to center.
Yeah, bringing us back to center, and pun intended, definitely to true north, right? The North Pole, Mount Meru. Everyone says North Magnetic, but why no one is interested in proving or seeing it? I guess aliens are more exciting than seeing your creator's throne. Um, no, aliens don't really excite me. Not even gonna BS you on that. Awakened Nemesis. Still totally trying to figure out what the hell these things are as far as the sun and the moon is concerned. Um, we've been hearing that they could be a part of what is being shown from the midnight sun or the black sun, excuse me, from the North Pole. But this is stuff that we're getting from this is stuff that we're receiving. How do we know that's at all true? How do we know that a lot of that isn't BS? Like just seeing how Luke just demonstrated how they were seeing the sun at a totally different place. And it's like, man, based off of some of these models that we were given, based off of what we were told, we were wrong. Or I may not be right, and I'm okay with that. But it's like one thing that is starting to become evident and common is that not only are we flawed, but there are some folks that are trying to point us in the wrong direction on purpose. And so I think it's starting to become a task to identify who these people are. I mean, we've come a long way to identify those that are pointing us in the wrong direction. But their testimony, go ahead. I'll let me get this point. But their testimony, we need to look at it with the eye of scrutiny, and then I'm not saying totally discard it, but look at it with some serious scrutiny. And I think all of us need to be looked at with some slight amount of scrutiny, but more than others. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make a real quick note to Awakened Nemesis said back earlier on in the chat. He said that nuclear bombs, Frank, are as real as unicorn shit. And I thought that was interesting because I just wanted to bring to bear, like I was talking about my father a moment ago, he was actually on Operation Crossroads, which was the Able Baker Bikini Atoll Marshall Islands test site.
The tests.
He was there, yeah. And I have his card. I have his Task Force 1 card. He said that when they were there, he told me the story when I was a kid a couple of times. He didn't like to talk about his Navy career much, but he said he's on the, and I'll tell you guys the exact ship. He was on DD 725, the O'Brien, a destroyer class that has 13 silver stars. It's the most honored ship in all of World War II. It saw more combat. It was at D-Day, and it was in lots of nuclear programs, but it saw more activity than any other ship in the Navy. But to finish what I'm saying, he was on JASCO as well, which was directly under Admiral Nimitz. It was Joint Allied Special Communications Outfit. They were the guys working on the Enigma machine that decoded the Germans and Japanese.
Right. Yeah, I
communications
saw that.
In the Pacific.
The Enigma machine.
He said when they went to when they did the Able Baker tests at Bikini Atoll, they were told that their ships would be 13 miles from ground zero of the test site. He said, in reality, when they detonated the bombs, they were 1 mile from ground zero, and the however many megaton, right? It went off, and the cloud of ionized radiation washed down over the ships. These ships glowed for weeks and weeks, and they weren't allowed back into Long Beach Harbor for up to, I think it was 6 weeks, because they had to cool down at sea. They were so hot with radiation. But here's the thing, all throughout that, when I was growing up as a kid, we had to do I was born in the early 70s, but we had to do atomic bomb drills or whatever, get under the desk, cover our eyes and shit. And I go home and I tell my dad that, and he'd tell me these stories. And he'd say, don't worry about it, son. They're nothing but big firecrackers. Like he didn't believe in the actual power that they claim. He said that it's all most of it's posturing. and that they do not have the power that they claim they have. I mean, and keep that in mind. If his ship was able to be there right within
Right.
ground zero of detonated atomic bombs, then it's not what you think it is. Those dudes were standing up on deck. He said they put on sunglasses and watched them blow up, a mile off the deck of the ship. So yeah, I think we're.
How easy is it to? It's so easy to fool the masses about so many things, and this is just
Right.
another one. They kept so many generations of people in fear for decades. Still do.
Man, and
I was terrified as a kid. I remember, like, when I was about 13, 14, I'd seen a few movies like War Games and a couple of others, and I was just like sick with anxiety about it.
yeah, I couldn't I see all those things, and as a kid growing up in the 80s, right? I was born in 78, but as a kid growing up in the 80s, I'm like, how are they our enemies, but we're doing Pepsi commercials with them? That doesn't make any sense. I was like, they are our enemies, but then these guys are doing breakdancing. They're having a good time. It's like, they're not our enemies. I was like, this shit don't make no sense, man. Like, it never made sense. And then we're being told that these guys are our enemies. I'm like, it does. And then people were like, oh, the Russians, they suck. And then 2 seconds later, they're over there singing Michael Jackson. I was like, you mean those guys that we just, why? I was like, why? I don't get it. It doesn't. And now fast forward to now, and I look back, I'm like, because these dick sucking ass motherfuckers fucking got us again. They get us every fucking time. And this is why I question even my own sanity. I'm like, is what I'm hearing correct? And then I'm like, it probably isn't, but I have to go along with what's being said just so I can categorize something. For now, I'll break it down later. But right now, it's what makes sense. But other than that, it's bullshit. It's got to be. That other stuff, everything
absolutely.
following it is bullshit. So
Yeah,
this is a fucking lie.
If I lie to you once, why shouldn't I just continue lying to you about everything?
I'm just gonna keep using the same fucking move on your dumb ass, and you fucking figure it out. I'm gonna make you sweat. I'm gonna make you work your ass off for nothing in the hamster wheel, and you fucking figure it out. In the meantime, I'm gonna go blow off some steam. Figure it out.
Even when the poor are already, we've done something in the last 100 years, like my parents, and now they're just going to reboot. They're going to reset everything. They're going to drive you out. They're going to take away, like, some folks own land, and it's like, well, let's just get rid of them, and then we can resell that land and start gaining new taxes and re-enslave an entire new generation. It's just total. And I wanted to mention too, because you were talking about it, but like I've studied a little bit about Old Tartaria, right? And I'm right here in the middle of Old Tartaria, and I've been around the Chinese cities here where they've got this architecture that is so beautiful, and it's supposedly Western. Like down in southern China, there's an island.
It stands out from the pagoda stuff that you probably use. I don't know if it's pagodaized, but
right. No, yeah, absolutely. It's Western. It's colonial, and it's like. It blows my mind. I was down on an island south of Xiamen called Gulangyu, and the entire thing, they say that 99.9% of the buildings were built by Freemasons 100 years ago. And like almost all the buildings got the stars and stripes and eagles on them and stuff, and say 1913, 1912 or whatever. But the entire island is colonial buildings, and it just blows my mind. I spent like a week down there on the island. And it was just wonderful. But I wanted to get it back to, I've looked at some old like silent film stuff from like the 1910s and 1920s, and they talk about this constant race baiting horse shit that, to get brother hating brother. And I was looking at films where like there's Irish, and then there's black, and then there's like Chinese and stuff, and everyone's like suited up in like 3-piece suits and milling about the cities and stuff, Chicago, New York, and they're all just like smiling and brother on brother. And if black fellas are walking through huge throngs of white folks or whatever, and nobody even looks at them, it's just like they're in the exact same clothes, and they're all obviously brothers. You can see that there's no racial tension whatsoever. Like they're just integrated, completely integrated. And this is 100 years ago. So it makes me question kind of the narrative that, that we've been at each other's throats for as long as we have and stuff like that. Like, I find that a little bit strange. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, I could tell you from experience from some of my family that there a lot of these things they took place in a different place, not here in America, but that my family's had their own experiences elsewhere, but with folks
Right.
of a different race, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, it does happen. Like, as long as I've
oh,
been here,
and it was
it's
like
pretty
bad.
constant. Yeah.
It
Even
was
now,
bad, and it's like,
Chinese are pretty ethno xenophobic, I would say, a little bit.
yeah, but that's because they come from a homogeneous society, right? So
Right.
me showing up in there like would throw them off. They'd be like, "What the hell?" Right? I mean, of
Right.
course, they probably, whether they give me problems or not, it is what it is. But somebody like me showing up in there, it kind of disrupts things because they don't expect it, And I get it, I totally get it. But no, I feel as if, yes, this is a form of eraser. They're eliminating us, and they're making room for the new people coming in here.
Right.
Whoever, you could pick a group, right? Some
Yeah.
people are debating, saying that it's the Venezuelans, or it's this one, or it's that one. They're changing the makeup. They're erasing the American history. This is part of why they're burning the books, and they're bringing in new books. This is something that I mentioned on Riku Swaron's channel earlier this evening, or yesterday evening, wherever the fuck we are. But but it's crazy because it's happening now, and things like the cocoa is being used to erase us, and things like particular lifestyles are being used to erase us, and things like the control of food and the poisoning of water and the destruction of trains in the trains falling off the rails, and just happens to be falling into the dumping, poison into the water supply. That's all done by design. All done by design. So they can get rid of us. And then they can inject a new batch of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, it's so overt. Like, many times, for example, in LA, I grew up in LA as a young man, right on the border of Compton and Long Beach. Because, like I said, my dad was a Navy guy, and like, we saw it play out. My dad was I was lucky that my dad was an older type guy. He was born in the 1920s, and so he was already 50. He was in his 50s when I was born. So he would just directly talk to me like a man, even when I was a young boy. And when the crack epidemic hit LA, it was a combination of gangster rap and crack cocaine, and then they would go into the poorer communities, and every intersection, every crossroads, you'd have a pornography store, liquor store, and then a pawn shop, right, where they sold guns. And then there'd be a pimp hanging out slinging crack. And basically, they would encourage you to go to the liquor store and get drunk, go to the pornography store and get the pornography, and then rob your neighbor's house and sell it at the pawn shop. And they tactically engineered these neighborhoods to prey upon the poorest people in the communities. And they did this. And he said there were CIA white papers on it. He knew exactly what was going down. And he said, just stay out of it. Don't get involved, watch your ass, keep going to school and stuff like that. But just right before 1992, he had a business in Paramount. And just before the Rodney King riots, he would tell me, he'd say, kid, you better watch it out there. He said, the racial tension is so thick right now, you could cut it with a butter knife. He said, it's in the air. It's just they're because they were on the media every day, drumming it up.
So it was.
And we pulled out of there just prior to the riots. Like, he got a new place down in San Diego, and he started reestablishing his business, and we were going back and forth. And in 92, man, when the riots hit, they burned down the entire city nearly. But it wasn't the nice parts of the city. They burned down the ghetto.
That's that strange lightning. A lot of that is that strange lightning you was talking about, Awakened Nemesis. This is stuff we talk about, strange lightning. a lot of it perpetuated from the synagogue of Satan. We talk about strange lightning. I don't
So
know if
who
you've
lost
ever.
their houses? Who lost their investment? It was all the people that had been there for a few generations, and mostly black folks. That's who got targeted. They
You
targeted
damn right. They get the man. They get the black folks, but like I said and mentioned time and time again, we're the test bed. After it happens to us, they see how we react, and then they're going to use it on everybody else. It's only a matter of time, and that's just their MO, man. That's
Yeah,
they
it was,
they
it
rinse
was
and repeat.
heartbreaking
They don't
and
yeah, they don't-
organized and instrumented. And my father saw it, and he knew about it, and he talked about it. I mean, Navy intelligence, man. He knew what was up, but he was retired. And again,
I was
never,
I was naval intelligence too, retired
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he made me swear that I would never join the military. He's like, never give up your private civilian rights.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But they raised him. You know, he was in a generation where he kind of had to do it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a school of hard knocks, but it's such a resourceful school. All the skills and the things you learn, right, along the way. You get education whether you want it or not back then. I could tell you I'm definitely fortunate for my service that I've committed to.
Were you a Pacific guy, or did you like? Were
I
you
did both.
Middle East? Yeah.
I did both. I did the Pacific and I did the Atlantic. I did 6th Fleet, 7th Fleet, 5th Fleet, 5th Fleet, of course, being CENTCOM, the Mideast. 6th Fleet being the Med.
Okay.
I did AFRICOM. I did the Pacific Fleet, 7th Fleet, obviously. That's Asia, right? Yeah. I was all over. I was in 4th Fleet being Southcom. Well, actually, I was. I take that back. I was down in Southcom. I was
What kind
down
of
in.
ships did you serve on?
I was only on one ship. My first ship, I was on the
Okay.
Emery-S Land. It was AS-39. I was on a submarine tender, so it was a
Okay.
floating garage, big
wow.
floating garage. You're cutting circles in the water, big floating garage. And
Nice.
so we tended submarines. But after that, I was a diver, and I committed to fixing subs, more subs, more submarines, and then I went intel, and then
Okay.
that's when the craziness started to happen, and it was intel on airplanes, flying airplanes. Not even going to mention the plane, but flying aboard it.
I was going to say, what can you speak to? Can you speak to any of the UAP stuff that's going on? I mean, were you directly privy to any of that, or
I'm not gonna say
no? Yeah,
yes.
I hear you.
Yeah. No.
And
And these things are so compartmented. You wouldn't know. You do your part. A lot of
Right.
times you wouldn't know what you're committing yourself to. You just do it, and then
Did you go?
go ahead.
Vlad,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
just quickly, did you start to question the shape of the Earth when you were in the Navy? Just with
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I did. That's exactly
Yeah.
when. And it was towards the tail end of my career. And it was actually somebody that I'd been mentoring. And he brought it to my attention. And I was like, fuck. This is probably why they had me mentor them. But he was when he brought it to my attention, I listened to him because he wasn't a dummy. And I heard the people calling him like he was stupid, treating him like he was dumb. But I saw him and I was like, he's not stupid. I was like, he's saying some shit that's probably true, but I haven't done any research on it. But they're just fucking idiots and they're too blind to actually sit down and listen to him. So I listened to him and I didn't agree with him at all. He was like, the earth is flat because every other reason we know the earth to be flat. Like he told this to me and I denied him at every turn. But he told me, just look into it. And I did. And I was like, by golly, he's right. And I felt stupid, but I was like, I need to do a little bit more. So based off of where I was, not just in my life, but also where I was stationed at, I was doing things that allowed me to see this place. And I would think back on my career and the things that I'd already experienced. So I'd already been on many submarines and I'd done many submarine missions. I'd been on many flights and missions, like millions of them, not millions, but a multitude of them. And I'd seen this place for what it was. And I was like, holy shit. And my time on my ship, my first ship, using things called the big eyes, right? Big giant binoculars that are mounted into the ship and seeing for vast distances. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like it never did curve. And I could see distances I'm not supposed to be seeing. So when I learned of this, I kept a lot of this information to myself because I was afraid of being called crazy or being,
ridiculed.
Exactly, the ridicule behind it. Until one day I was like, fuck it. It is what it is. I'm a fucking flat earther. And I said it and I had to spit it out because I was like, it left a bad taste in my mouth. But then the more I bathed myself in the truth, the more it hurt, but it was a good hurt. Because I said to myself, you know what? If I'm being ridiculed for telling the truth, then I'll be ridiculed. Fuck it. I said, if these people can't figure it out, I almost felt as if I was in an exclusive club to a degree. But one of those clubs where it was like, it's going to hurt. And I was ready for the pain. And I said, at some point, I just have to let go. And I have to be willing to accept this for what it is. And I was. And I was, little by little, people started learning as to what I knew this place to be. And it wasn't fucking pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. And then, bam, the cocoa happened. The cocoa happened. And my predictions were, they're going to try and make me take some shit, and I ain't fucking doing it. And then people was like, oh, you just wilding out, dude. You wilding out. And turns out that many of us, and then it's one of those I told you so moments. And
yeah, I don't want to. If I may, I'd speak to it for a moment. I don't want to mention too much, but I want to tell you guys that it was October 2019 when I was here, and they had the U.S. Army was down in the city where all that supposedly got batshit crazy, right? But I was here and I was already doing the research, and I looked into now the deleted, defunct Willy Wonka of the Supersoft computer system. He had published all of that, and I was taking screenshots. I've still got it on my iPhone 4, or my iPhone 6 maybe. But I was keeping the receipts, and I was thinking about it and talking about it. And we had in November, our city was already under huge prep for lockdown. They were already gating up. They were already putting up kiosks for testing. And this was November. At the end of October, it started. And I was documenting everything. And I was doing it here on my YouTube channel. And they gave me community strike after community strike. And I just shut my mouth after that. Like, they shut me down once for 2 weeks, and then they gave me a second one. They said, they're both active, one more and you're done. And I had already invested like a lot of time. I mean, 3 years into building like videos that I like, and as a collection and archive. And I felt, I was at risk. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to give up. I'm not going to mention another word about it. And so I kept my mouth shut until probably the last couple of months. I'll say, the cocoa, like you guys, or the Coovies. But I think it's still kind of taboo. Like we don't want to get too close to the fire when it comes to that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I wanted people to know that we were way ahead of the curve. We knew. And,
we already coming. Y'all saw it coming. These motherfuckers, man. They poisoned us. And they fooled us at the same time. Right? And people are still like in disbelief as to them poisoning us. And then those are the same, and I've said it before, those are the same assholes that sit there talking about, oh, why would they poison us? That's one. Two, another thing they say, oh, yeah, look at how fast, you could tell this earth is moving fast. Look at what the clouds are doing. Those motherfuckers. Oh, great. The James Webb Space Telescope saw another nebula 1,500 million light years away. Those motherfuckers talk that shit. They need assholes in front of their mouth because all that shit they talk, they're wrong every fucking time. And they fucking say nothing. All they talk about is fucking football and nonsense. And they say nothing. And everything and you hear, it's like a bunch of goddamn cackling hens, man. All they do is flap their fucking beak. Nothing comes out. No solutions for anything. No hate, no dissatisfaction. You don't hear these guys dissatisfied with nothing because they're living in their stupidity. Oh, I can't wait to get. And then you know what? They get that fucking poke in the arm, and then they put a Band-Aid over it. They put a fucking Band-Aid over it. They take pictures. They smile on Facebook with their little mask. Stupid motherfuckers, man. And
That's
it's
what I
like
was
we're around these motherfuckers 24/7, and it pisses me off. I'm sorry.
I was going to mention that. No, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was going to mention that if you didn't know, but like the Chinese over here, they had been using these for a long time, and when that went down, they put these motherfuckers under serious scrutiny with like microscopes and stuff. And the kind of funny shit that was going on with these was no kind of funny at all, man. Like there was all kinds of stuff getting passed around through those motherfuckers. That's basically a weaponized carrier, a weaponized medium right there.
Yeah, like people, we need more those fucking masks coming from. I was like, man, where those masks coming from? What if they come from where they're not supposed to come from? They could put whatever the fuck they want in there. What are you doing?
Bad mojo.
That's the thing, man. Like these
the masks, just nothing would wind me up more than people wearing masks. And I would just like, and because I was in Thailand for most of COVID, and they were wearing, same as in China, they were wearing masks a lot because of the pollution. Not that it really helps. It's worse off breathing recycled carbon dioxide than any, and getting a shortage of oxygen than breathing any pollution. That's worse than any pollution. But anyway, they already had a culture from the first SARS and then the pollution. So it didn't take. They love the masks.
2003. That's right.
But get this, you know how they talked about this generation of babies that were born at the start of COVID, and then they're going to be seriously fucked up because they didn't see their mum and dad's faces. Right?
I heard about that.
And get this. So for the first, when I got stuck in Australia when Australia got locked down, but pretty much landed there in around March 15 and the whole world locked down. So I got stuck in Australia for 9 months. Came back to Thailand. Everyone's wearing masks, lots of lockdowns. And I would go for a walk every day. And I swear I was the only person in the city not wearing a mask. And this was for like 12 months, right? And by the end of the 12 months, there's these street dogs, which they call soy dogs. And they're just part of the furniture here. They sit outside 7-Eleven, and there's one in every street corner. There were these resident soy dogs that were around the corner from me, and when I would have to carry a big stick because these dogs, when I walked past, they went berserk because they forgot what people look like.
Oh wow!
It's because I didn't have a mask. So they would be like, who the fuck are you?
That's crazy.
Like, imagine that, 2 years of not seeing people's faces for little babies, if that's what it's doing to dogs. Like they didn't know what it was. Forgot what a face looked like. I'm sure that's why they were barking.
These people, there's so. Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead.
I said that these dogs, they're not like they're very tame, and everyone feeds them, and you never have any issues. And there's a couple in my street, and they wag their tail, and they're very friendly. But over that COVID period, they were mental cases around me.
Yeah, man. These motherfuckers, man, they sure did a number on us, man. They sure did. You know what? I ain't even mad. What we're doing, we're putting together that goddamn. We got to start somewhere. So we're building the goddamn Antikythera mechanism, and that's our big fucking middle finger to the fucking face of these motherfuckers. We're building this goddamn machine, and then we're gonna do what the fuck we do with it. Here's my thing, man. Any which way we could give the fucking system a goddamn middle finger, I'm with it. And these idiots out there that all they want to do is talk about goddamn Madden and bullshit that doesn't mean nothing to nobody. Like, I'm so fucking sick and tired of motherfuckers like that, man. There's really not much we could do. All we could do is pray for them, sure. All right, I'll pray for them, but at the same time, I'm gonna cuss them out too, because it's like, motherfucker, like you guys just get in our way. They get in the way of that. Now that's progress. Now they think they're doing progress by voting or this or that. That's not goddamn progress. We're the ones that make the change. We have to be the ones that make the change. We can't expect this leadership. What I find funny is this fucking leadership. They're always in the right place at the right time. You notice that? Always in the right place at the right time. It's only after some bad shit happens to everybody else where they're like, oh, wow, that sucks. Your whole fucking neighborhood got ripped out the goddamn ground. We ain't got no money for you, though. Figure it out. And I'm like, you dirty motherfuckers. I wish all these broke motherfuckers just trounced those sons of bitches. And for goddamn treason. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, they absolutely
people are like, well, we need $1, we need this, we need that. Our houses got destroyed. It's like, don't you notice that these goddamn clowns over here that are telling you they don't have any money for you to repair your home or you to repair your neighborhood? They're not in the way of that bullshit. They know when the shit is coming, so they know how to protect themselves. They know there was a point when let's go back to the cocoa real quick. Let's talk about the cocoa. There was a branch of the government that didn't have to take the fucking shot. Don't you find that strange? Meanwhile, the rest of it's not like they're not goddamn Americans. Apparently, they're Americans too. But there's a whole bunch of all these fucking Americans that must take the shot. But these guys are goddamn exempt. They're not sick. They're nothing special. Apparently, they seem to be human beings too. But they don't have to take the shot. You know what? I even said they showed fucking Crazy Joe Biden sitting over there taking a shot. I said, no. That's too easy. I said, why don't you fucking give him the shot that those broke motherfuckers right there? I want to see a batch of their shit get put in his arm. That's what I want to see. Don't come up with some shot that you fucking prepackaged for this motherfucker. Nah. Get that one that's over there on fucking Brownsville in Brooklyn. I want you to bring it to him and then put that shit in his arm. And then I'll think about it. Then I'll consider it. Don't give me that bullshit. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
It's over, Vlad. I've got to drop out soon, mate. I'm actually helping a family member with
I'm sorry.
With a No. This
over there
on topic.
Cussing, man. They like, God.
No.
Man, somebody.
No. I'm talking about as of this moment, for the last 3 years, I've been helping a family member with a lawsuit. Their former employer who terminated them unlawfully because they wouldn't take the you know what. So I have got loads of info. They're on the hook for a lot of money. And the offences that they've committed, it's prison time. But we are talking human rights violations, breach of contract, breach of privacy, unsafe workplace violations, bullying in the workforce, fraud, assault, torture, terrorism, threats of intimidation, victimization, discrimination.
Oh wow!
So they are serious offences. So So Anyway, I'm taking the fight to them, mate.
They treated you folks more egregiously than anyone else, I think.
This is what I'm hearing. That's right. Like
Australia's a test case.
Lockdown. Yeah,
Australia, they test a lot of this shit on Aussies because we're really laid back.
You're so far removed from a lot that's going on. You're big,
Absolutely.
but you're far removed. Like we don't, you know how far removed you guys are. I had somebody say, "Oh man, I bet it's real nice in Australia this time of year." I was like, "You mean during their winter?" He's like, "What do you mean it's winter? It's summertime over there." And I'm like, he's a grown man. He's like 55 years old. And he's working on his doctorate's degree. And I'm like, huh, it's wintertime down there. We're the ones that are roasting. Like, no, what? It's summertime in Australia. So this is how far removed you guys are, that people tend to forget that our seasons are flipped. You understand what I'm saying, Luke?
Yep.
Luke.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I got you. Yeah, that's how far removed you guys are from us. So they can run those games on you, and we wouldn't fucking know unless people like you come out and you tell us. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, what's happening is people like the amount of the percentage of people who are taking action, including people who are terminated or people who lost loved ones because they were forced to take this experimental medication, is so tiny that anyone who does follow up and can find litigators or lawyers or barristers or whoever to help them out, it's a drop in the ocean for them. And people are intimidated. So out of this workplace where these group of employees were mandated to take this thing, there was about 6 people who originally wanted to get involved, and now there's just one person who's close to me. So people just can't. It's so hard it takes a lot of courage to do that sort of thing, to take it to the man. And they were banking on people who just put up with it and just go, what can we do? It's the government, it's big corporations. Yep. And like about 70% of people who took it were forced to do it. They were coerced. For stars, it's experimental, so there can never be informed consent when it's an experiment. And if there's any sort of coercion or forcing you in any way, that's not consent. That's the same reason Harvey Weinstein got done, right? Because he said, you want to be in this movie, you got to do this. That's not consent. Mm-hmm. That's coercion. So when you have coercion, you can't have informed consent.
Exactly. The military was notorious for that. You know how many Hippocratic oaths? They broke so many fucking rules. You know what they did? They would have you fucking get your goddamn COVID card, right? And I'm sure a lot of people did. And they were like, email your fucking COVID goddamn registration to me. That's exactly what they did with a lot of these fucking people. A lot of these sailors. I want to see it. I don't believe that you got it. I want to see it. I want to see it. You know how many people fucking did that? You know how many times they did that? And this is all part of the fucking official record. It's not like it's a secret.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, like, so many fucking rules were broken. And it's my thing is, if you really want to bring a fucking institution down, you drop those receipts on them. What's up now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? One of the things that frustrates me.
Go ahead.
There's so many frustrating things, but remember back in the day when they were asking for the passports, and wherever you go, have you had the vaccine? And then, right, if someone has a heart attack and they they fall off the perch and they're 48, or a famous sports star's died suddenly or whatever, and we say, oh, has he had it? Oh, why are you asking that?
Oh, no.
Hang on, what? So we can't ask it for that, but you're allowed to ask it for me to play golf and to go to a restaurant, but I can't ask it when that's happened.
Man,
I wanted to ask you guys if it was how bad it was where you were, because over here, like within just a couple of weeks, we went into an entirely cashless society, and then you had to have it on a digital app, and it was all integrated into one system, right?
Oh my God.
And you couldn't even go in a grocery store or a corner store. You couldn't even leave your community without it. And it had to be active and it had to be green. And if you were even within a mile of where they did like a lockdown, they would do like a bleep or whatever, everybody's card would turn red within that area. So
oh my God.
Oh yeah, it was fucking
I heard,
bananas,
I
man.
heard, I heard there were people in China, like a whole bunch of people that like turned up real quick, like real quick. They gave the government a taste of that medicine, and they
There were
wasn't feeling it.
quite a few
Yeah.
instances of that, and they shut that down immediately. Like any type of knowledge of being able to spread that, the news of that, like man, it was really, really strict.
Man, oh my God. That's what a lot of these places need, man. They need a good turn up. They need a good, strong turn up from a bunch of angry, pissed off, broke folks.
Yeah, there's been quite a few instances of that recently, and especially during that, and just prior to that, there was a thing that happened here in this city. I don't want to talk to it too much, but like they had driven out all of the recent migrants. Like there were a lot of folks coming from the west and from the
Right.
south to set up shop here, and like the lower sections of all the buildings had like tons of little shops, like barber shops, soda shops, whatever, you know, different little restaurants and stuff. And they went through and they had a like a total cleansing of the entire city, and we called it the Great Bricking Up. But they essentially kicked all of those people out and just eliminated from the city entirely. And this was all done up as like a run up to the situation that unfolded. Like, so we saw so much of like the preparatory phase. It wasn't something that just happened due to some batshit horseshit soup, right? Like they were implementing policies and structures that were to corral and confine the people far prior to what went down, like when the rest of the world started to hear about it. So yeah, I wanted to share that.
Man, oh man.
Hey
Man,
guys,
oh man.
great. I wish I could hang around longer. We can have another chat another time. But great show. Thanks for having me on, and chat to you guys another time.
You bet, Luke. I appreciate you, bro. And yeah, Frank Monday, I gotta bust up out of here too, man, because I gotta, what time is it? What time is it right now? Yeah, I gotta be up in 12 minutes.
Oh God. All right, y'all be good. Nice to meet you, Luke. Take care, man.
Yeah,
Down
you
in,
too, Frank. See you later,
down
guys.
under. Yeah, bye. And I appreciate you having me
Luke.
on. Vlog.
Yeah, you got it. You got it, Frank, man. I appreciate you, bro. Luke, you have a good one, bro. Have a good one. You too, Frank, man. And yeah, man, anytime, man. Anytime I drop that link, man, come on through.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Very good to talk
no
to you.
doubt.
You guys have a good day.
You too, man. Take care now.
Bye.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all, that's me. I'm the last man standing. Duck, duck, goose, right? Family, I gotta be up in a couple of minutes. But listen, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna provide you guys this link to this research right here. Right? Hold on. There it is. Ooh, there it is. Hold on now. That right there. All right, there's that research right there. I don't want you guys to miss out on that, okay? Anything we put in there, make sure you get it, and then make sure you star that on your address box. Your address box, you know what I'm saying. You save it to your folder, one of those things. You know what I'm talking about. Family. Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for being up with me tonight. I really appreciate that. Yeah, y'all didn't even have to do all that, but yeah, you know what it is, man. When I come out here, man, I like to come strong, but today was a little bit funky. The timing was off. I get it, but at least we held it down today, and I appreciate y'all for coming through. Thank you. Thank you. Frank, man, anytime, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for coming. The Akinator, what's happening, fam? And see Lightning 300. Don't think I didn't see your ass, bro. I just didn't say hi. How you doing, man? Mr. Super Sidewinder holding it down. Miss Marcy Chan. How you doing, girl? How you doing, Marcy Chan? All right. Of course, Awakened Nemesis, always. Mr. Gashead. Jeff Gashead. It's good to see you, bro. Good to see you, bro. And who else we got in here? Jeff Gashead, of course. Barbara. Always a pleasure to have you, Barbara. Saddle Bum. It's always a pleasure. Y'all know what it is. And I love seeing you guys in here, family. I love seeing you guys in here, and you guys always make the show a million times better. Jason Jones, what's happening? What's going on, bro? It's good to see you, man, and thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Family, it was awesome. It was an amazing night with Riku, letting me grace his channel and talk with the folks over in Finland. And then it was an amazing night with the family, you guys, for cleanup work afterwards and holding it down. I really appreciate y'all, man. And we appreciate you. And the community appreciates you. And we're just that much better. Undoctrinated. What's happening, bro? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. The community can't do without you. The community can't do without y'all. And yeah, we fuck up. I know I fuck up a lot. You know what I'm saying? But we're looking for the truth. At the end of the day, all we want is the truth, man. All we want is the truth, family. We want the truth. Sometimes we may go about a crazy way looking for it, but we are looking for the truth. We're not sitting back on our haunches, satisfied with what we think we know. And if that's our way of thinking, maybe we need to tweak it a little bit and continue to pursue the truth. Anyway, family, let me stop flapping my bell. I'm being a duck over here talking about Aflac. Let me stop flapping my bill and let me let y'all go to sleep, man, because it's late than a mug out here. And I gotta be up in 7 minutes, y'all. So, rumbling YouTube family. Yeah, but why it's not? Yeah, oh wow. I feel you. But rumbling YouTube family, y'all know what it is, man. I wish y'all nothing but the best. I wish you guys health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity, most of all, wisdom, family. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Thank you for joining me here tonight, or actually this morning. It's so late, it's early. Wish y'all nothing but the best. Health, wealth, love, joy, prosperity, most of all, wisdom, family. And with that, I love you. I'm out. Peace.